What's going on, people? We are Tottenham on tour, the takeover, whilst Ben and Simeon are away enjoying Ben's stag do. First of all, you've got the boys from Tottenham on tour. We've got Adam Clark in the back end, who will be joining us for the fan show part of the evening, as well as manning the comments and the super chats. And to begin with, we have myself and obviously my partner in crime, Brian Ireland. Brian, how are you doing
What's
today?
up, people? What's up? How's it going? It's a lovely Friday evening. I am doing very well. Yeah, buzzing for this. We had a great night last night. It was a ton of fun, and looking forward to doing it again. And thank you for the boys for letting us have this opportunity.
Yeah, so let's just get some housekeeping out of the way. So first of all, on behalf of me and everyone on Tottenham on Tour, we just want to thank you for the support in yesterday's show. I just checked; we're close to 7,500 views on our show yesterday, which means so much to us.
Loving that.
And I'm sure the boys will be happy with that. And we kept putting the link for our channel in the show, but we didn't realise that Ben and Simeon, being the golden boys that they are, have actually put a hyperlink in the description, so you can just push that blue hyperlink and subscribe to our channel without even having to leave the screen and leave us. So if you can subscribe to us, we're on a big push for 4,500 subscribers. It would mean a lot to us. So yeah, I mean, the housekeeping for today. So obviously we're going to have a little bit of talk about the international games from yesterday, the potential Kulusevski injury, and then of course, and I even said to Ben and Simeon, I said to Brian and Danny and to Danny Kiriakou and Adam Clark, please, Daniel Levy, just don't do anything. Don't do anything whilst we're on this channel. And he went a day without doing
Sure
it.
enough.
So manna from heaven has fallen from me once again. So there will be a Daigle rant, a very disciplined Daigle rant. And then obviously we're going to bring in the guests on, and what we're going to do, what we do on our channel to make it fair that everyone gets the same amount of time. I'll be setting a 15-minute countdown timer, and that guest will have 15 minutes to come on and talk about whatever they want. It doesn't even have to be about today's events. It could be a favourite moment, your first game, just anything, because there's no real apart from the international stuff. So anything you want to say, but the 15 minutes, if you are speaking like Mastermind, you started, so we'll let you finish, and then we're going to go on to the next one. So yeah, I can see one of my very good friends, Wayne Holland, who's a Leicester fan, has said he's here for the rant. So but yeah, there will be one. I mean, we all know what it's about. But yeah, so starting off, Brian, obviously international roundup, and I think we've got to start. Where should we start? With Canada.
Yeah, I think Canada's probably the first one, since we are in Canada and we're sort of representing here. From an international perspective, Canada unfortunately lost to Costa Rica 1-0 after an accumulation of a red card. I forget the name of the player that did it, but it was pretty ugly and unfortunate that it happened. His name is Kay. The first tackle probably should have been a red card. I mean, I don't know if you saw it. I was convinced as I was hanging out at my apartment watching it, pacing on it. He's gone. It should have been a red card on the first go. So I'm guessing the second time, when no matter what was going to happen, if he felled a guy and it was remotely close to being somewhat of a bad foul, that he was going to be sent off, and he was sent off. So he gets sent off, but second half, Canada with 10 men absolutely dominated Costa Rica. It was shocking how much they did with just 10 men. Really impressive performance from them in the second half. Just couldn't get it over the line. The fortunate thing is the results went their way, and the U.S. were playing Mexico, and those are the two teams beneath them in the group. They drew 0-0, so didn't really affect Canada that much. A point each means that Canada still have 4 points above everybody else, and they play Jamaica away on Sunday, and that's the game that they probably should ice it. But yeah, a great performance from Canada, still without the Fawns, but still playing great football. They got some good players in that side, and yeah, looking good. And I think they'll be qualifying on Sunday.
I'll speak about it, but I did forget to say in the housekeeping, the link will be in the community section to come and join us from 8:30 for gold and silver members. So check your community page at 8:30. That will be when the lines kind of open. We're still talking, you're like you are normally, be in the back end, and it'll be first come, first serve. But then near the end of the show, we are going to open it up again to members that don't normally get the opportunity to come on. So if you do want to come on, it will be your opportunity. what we're talking about Canada, I just want to bring up this. Adam, if you just bring up MF's Canada comment, just so I can address this. MF, there's a couple of places we go to. The main place we go to is the Scotland Yard, which is on the Esplanade downtown, right by Union Station. And there's going to be a big load of us for the Aston Villa game. That is my home pub for Toronto's.
That's our East End. That's our East End location.
Yeah, that's the official home of Toronto Spurs. That's the official home, and we get great crowds there. We have a membership, and the Scotland Yard are brilliant with us. But Brian also has a pub very close to him, which is called the
Dunright Inn. It's just around Niagara and Queen in the West End, just west of Bathurst on the south side. Great spot there. Sean, who is a massive Spurs fan, he's an expat. He's been here for probably about 20 years now, but massive Spurs fan. Turned the bar into a Spurs bar. Often cooks some food for whoever's there at halftime. Last week he made lasagna. Often does Indian food, but always a good chef and a great time. Some of the best times I've had watching Spurs have been at that bar. So you got two spots. So if you're in the West End and you want to go down to the Dunny, Sean will welcome you there for sure. And then of course Scotland Yard is the home of Toronto Spurs. A fantastic spot that I've been in and out of for many years and enjoy it just as much. So go two good spots. So if MF, if you want to hook us up or hook up with us at either one of those spots, Brian's easy to find. Just look for the loud Jewish guy at the front of the table screaming at the TV.
Or just reach out to us on any of our socials.
Yeah, that too. But it's more fun to just look for him at the bar.
Yeah, you can hear me from down the street normally. Exactly, but yeah, get back to Canada. Let's get back to the football. Canada. I mean,
sorry. Go ahead.
For me, the first tackle was a red card straight off.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Straight off. Whether he meant it or not, it was a high challenge, and it should have been. And then obviously, once you get a yellow card, you've got to be careful. He wasn't. He was clumsy,
sloppy.
And that first half, Canada just couldn't find their groove. But in the second half,
it was just nightmare, wasn't it?
Battered them, and just couldn't get it in. But
with 10 men too, it was shocking that they were the team with 10 men. You would have thought it was the other way around, with how much they dominated the ball and the chances created, and just Costa Rica stuck in and weren't letting them pass, but keeper made a couple good saves. But yeah, it bodes well for Canada. Whether they do well in the World Cup itself or not, it's been since 1986, as we said yesterday, since they've gotten to the World Cup. But to finish atop the group with USA and Canada in the same group, and beating both of those teams in the run up is pretty impressive. They got some great players on the side, and looking forward to seeing them in a World Cup. I'm struggling to even watch, but that's for other reasons in another conversation.
Exactly. I mean, I've got to say, I mean, yes, they could have tied it up and got it done, signed, sealed, delivered yesterday. But the fact that they could do it in Toronto, in their home country, I mean,
for sure. I got offered tickets. Sean Welborn, who's a fellow Toronto Spurs member and a friend of the channel, he's been on our mental health shows. He offered me tickets. He had 100. Yeah, they were probably. I don't know who he went to first.
145 each.
Yeah, too much money, and I was like, Sean, I don't have that kind of money, man.
I told my wife about it today, about how they could qualify for the World Cup, and she's like, "Oh, maybe we can get tickets." And even on the official sites, they're like 280 now, so it's ridiculous. Cheap, yeah. But I was thinking, like, obviously, I was here when the Raptors won the NBA, and this city, I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. I can imagine if the job gets done on Sunday, downtown will be incredible.
It'll be interesting. It's a funny one because football in Canada and in Toronto is very popular, but it still is, when it comes to like the difference between hockey and basketball, it still is on the fringes. It's its own little thing, right? Despite the support for Toronto FC locally for the local club is massive. They get as many or more people out than the Toronto Blue Jays do for baseball, and arguably get the exact same amount that they get to a hockey arena, because the hockey arena is only a certain size. But I don't know that we'll see that. We'll see honking horns and people will be happy, but it won't be the same as if Italy, like when Italy won the Euro.
Well, you know what?
I know. You saw what I did there, Brian. You saw what I did there.
What a transition. I mean, Iggy, I'm sorry if you're watching, or I'm sorry if you're going to be watching this back, but my God. God, what a shock. I mean, people are saying they had 32 attempts on goal and couldn't score. Macedonia had 5. And I'm going to big up, because I don't know if he's in the comments just yet, but I hope he watches it. I've been speaking, because I try to reply to as many of the comments as we do on our channel, and I've been trying to do that today from the comments yesterday. And there was a guy whose YouTube name is KK_RR. And we're talking about Italy and whatever. And then he said to me, do you know what as well, Brian? I'm 20 years old, and I've seen Italy win more things than Tottenham. And you look at it and you think Tottenham for the last 20 years, a majority of them have been in Europe as well. There's a chance to win 4 competitions, or one of 4 competitions every year. And Italy can obviously only win a big tournament once every 2 years. And I was just like, boom. But I was talking to Iggy. I spoke to Iggy this morning.
Yeah.
And it really hit me because Iggy was saying he's upset and he's annoyed, but for his kids, his eldest kid is like his kid. This will be the 2nd World Cup they're not going to.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
His last World Cup,
and in the middle of it, they won the Euro. It's like, what the hell?
The last World Cup they were at, he was 10 years old.
That's so nuts.
And the next World Cup he could possibly be, he's 18.
Yeah.
So he's got his whole childhood, so to speak.
But they won the Euros in the middle of it. So I mean, he's got that at least, right? At least they won something. But yeah, it's a weird one. No World Cup for Italy, and shocking. You know, there's been talk about Mancini getting sacked. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think this is his issue here. I think Italy don't have a striker currently. Like Italy are a lot like a lot of teams, you know, a lot like City in a sense, where they've got a really good side across the board in every position except for that one that they desperately needed. And of course, like you said, I think it was 33 shots, 5 on target. Nobody, you know, no target man, nobody to finish those chances off properly. They have a proper striker in that side, and they beat North Macedonia like 10-1 or something. You know, it's not even a question. But yeah, a difficult situation for them. In case you're wondering, we are going to get to some Tottenham news, folks, but we're doing a quick roundup of some other stuff because it is International Week. Even though we're not fans of it, we're still got to do it. A couple other key notes before we move on from this. Portugal 3-1 over Turkey. I think that gets them qualified comfortably. Wales, the Wales game in particular was a big one. Gareth Bale, both goals. One of the goals was just to add to that, assisted by Davies. So there's your Tottenham bit. Davies getting an assist to Gareth Bale. Apparently Rodon played a big part in the game and had played very well. So you know, hopefully for him and his career that bodes well. He'll get a transfer that he needs. But Gareth Bale's freaking shot, the laser beam left footer from like 40 yards out. It was like, how the hell did he put that in the top corner? Like, unreal. Did you see it? Did you? I watched it over and over again because it's like, my goodness gracious.
So before I talk about Bale, and obviously the Tottenham one was coming in with Bale, Davies, and then we talk Kulu, and then we'll get into the juicy stuff. But yeah, it's I've just got to bring up a comment from a great supporter of the channel who I'm speaking to now on social media. I've got a lot of time for this person. It's Born to Lose 73, who's just been saying, even though Spurs aren't playing this week, being Italian, he got his full dose of Spursiness last night. So I can imagine how he feels. And this is a top dude. I've got a lot of time for this dude. But yeah, when we were on this show when Wales had started, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh my God, Gareth Bale, what have you done?" And we're going, "What's the free kick?" I didn't actually get to watch the free kick as long as we could. Sorry, I didn't get to watch it till this morning. My word. And you know what I love about the free kick is sensational, but do you know what it is as well? It's the goalkeeper. It was on the goalkeeper's side.
Yeah, it was near post. It was just nuts.
It reminded me kind of the free kick, and everyone will know the free kick I'm talking about, when Ronaldo scored against Portsmouth and David James was right there, and he just went, "Well, what can I do?
What do you want me to do?" Yeah, exactly.
That free kick was an absolute thing of beauty, and Gareth Bale has come in for a lot of stick. From the Spanish media, because apparently he didn't play in El Clasico, and then obviously he's fit to play for Wales, and it's brought up that whole Wales.
My understanding is he's not getting picked by Ancelotti, though. At least that's like, he came out in his social media and said, like, yeah, this is what happens if somebody picks me to play. So you know, like I wonder about that situation as to whether or not you know, because he's struggled there with the media and obviously getting on his back quite a bit, which it's a hard watch, but he does. I don't think he deserves it, man. He's done a lot for that club, and you know, some of the goals he scored, some of the big goals he scored in big moments. Champions League final comes to mind against Liverpool. That overhead kick, just absolutely absurd. The qualities in the guy. Why isn't he getting time? I don't think it's his fault. But sorry, I interrupted you there. I was a little bit annoyed with some of that banter about him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's leaving at the end of the season. Adam, I don't know, I haven't heard anything about if he signed a pre-contract with us. Now, I just want to let you know, because I've just had it confirmed. Yep. Within 5 minutes, someone is going to be joining us and coming straight in and may stay with us for a while. I'm not going to say who, but we have a very special guest. So A lot of people will be very happy with this special guest. So yeah, with Gareth Bale, obviously he's coming to the end of his career. I want to see him back at Spurs, but we'll see what happens. We all know the wages comes into that, but also the thing is, Roden played sensational.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mentioned that as well. Roden apparently had a really good game, and it bodes well for his career. I don't know whether it bodes low for his Tottenham career because let's be honest about it, he doesn't seem to have one. So it'll be hard to say how that pans out. But I think we've all, like most of us, have wondered about that because the times he has come on and played, we've thought he's played well. So I'm surprised by it. Any other notes? Any other notes in international games from Spurs players in particular that we know of?
No, I mean we can get onto Kulusevski separately.
Yeah, that was sort of the next one I was going to go
exactly.
to.
So anyway, I've seen we've had a super chat in, so let's bring that super chat up from a great supporter of everything the Wolves feed. Exactly. Thank you very much indeed, Wolves. It's greatly appreciated. Do you know what? This is what I love. This person is on every single channel for Tottenham. A lot on here. He gets about everywhere, and it's great that people from other channels come in and watch it and enjoy it. So thank you very much indeed for that. So yeah, Kulusevski.
Yeah, Kulu, Deki, whatever you want to call him, unfortunately gets what seems like a minor injury. He did continue to play, but a broken cheekbone, I think you said, Brian. Is that what it was?
So what they've been saying? I mean, obviously, again, this all happened when we were live doing yesterday's show, and someone said, "Oh, Kulusevski's got a swollen eye or a swollen cheek."
I saw.
And we just thought maybe he'd had a little knock or whatever. But this morning it kind of broke that maybe it may be a fractured or broken cheekbone. It's not confirmed. It's not guaranteed. This is just speculation that's coming out. Obviously, Obviously, you can wear the face mask like Harry Kane did, but I don't know if that's with a fractured cheekbone as opposed to a broken cheekbone. There may be a difference between that, but we just got to hope and pray.
Yeah. So just some quotes from him, and then some of the other notes quickly from our article I found. I started to spin for a few seconds. I got a little worried, said Kulusevski. I thought it was the head, but then it turned out well. I was just trying to get angry to get energy from it. I could not have forgiven myself. I thought we had to win this. We could not lose to Czech Republic at home. It cannot happen. It was a fantastic goal. The fact that Kulusevski was given green light to continue would suggest any Spurs fears are allayed. However, his inclusion against Poland on Tuesday will clear it up. So we'll see what happens when they go up against Poland, and if there's any issues with him. Honestly, I actually hope he doesn't play against Poland unless they need it to win to get through.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where their status is with qualifying, but if he's got enough of a bruise that he needs to take a break and not remotely get a chance of any other injuries as well, playing with an injury, especially a face injury, especially a head injury, your balance might not be the same. There's worry there that he could not necessarily escalate that injury, but make or get another injury because he's not fully aware of what's happening around him. So I hope we don't see him play, but I hope that's not because we won't see him play against Newcastle the following weekend.
Exactly. It's wrap him up in cotton wool because his form has been electric. He has become a very important part of what we're doing and the improvement we're going on. The fans have taken to him. Obviously, he's got one of the greatest songs ever invented.
Yeah. Did you hear him chatting about the song too? He did an interview about it, and he's like, "Oh, I love it. I love the song. It's fantastic."
He loves that about being Swedish as well and everything. And he's been saying how much he loves Tottenham, how much he's loving his life at Tottenham. He's designed for the Premier League. So that's the Kulusevski section.
Yeah, now it's time for the one that you've all been waiting for, and I'm going to just let Brian do what Brian does here. Of course, we'll bring up do you want me to read the statement first?
Yeah, obviously, what we'll do is obviously let's just. So basically, today I have been. I've tweeted quite a bit. I'm sickened, appalled, disgusted by this club once again, or I don't say this club, this board once again. Now, this may seem very, very minor to people. And I really don't get the people that think it's minor, but that's your opinion. I'm going to go into a bit of detail, but like I said, this whole thing has come about because obviously Daniel Levy has asked for the season ticket renewal to be done before the season even ends, which hasn't been done before. And obviously this riled a hell of a lot of people. This isn't something that people can. We're not like the Levys and the Tottenham board that just have thousands of pounds to just drop. People have families, people have mouths to feed, people have cars and
You're
insurance.
starting to rant already, Brian. Let me read it first,
Yeah,
and
go on.
then you can I don't have to interrupt it.
There you go. Go
All
on
right.
then.
So to THFC rejects proposal to delay season ticket deadline after the club told us it had decided to bring the deadline for renewing season tickets forward. We joined the proud Lily Whites and Spurs' ability in asking for what decision for the decision to be reconsidered. Our original letter here can be read. Following an exchange of views over the past week, which we reproduce below in the interest of transparency, the club has confirmed it will not be changing its decision. We find this extremely disappointing, to say the least. The clubs ignored the views of the three fans' organizations and failed to really address the points we made, claiming at the end of their final reply that any change made made now would be unfair. Ignores the fact that we are unable to suggest alternatives earlier because the club made its decision without consulting us. And again, it's just the continuous miscommunication or lack of communication. It just dick moves from the board and Daniel Levy. We will continue to work for improvements in decision making that ensure proper consultation and discussion on key decisions such as this happens in the future. We encourage any fan who is facing financial difficulty renewing by the April 29th deadline to contact the ticket office to request that their case be heard on a one-to-one basis. So if you're able to do that, you're listening to this in the UK and you have seasons tickets, there is a place where you can go and you can at least just talk to the fact that you may not have the money to renew it at the moment, which is the biggest issue. To do this to fans is insane. Fans will now make their own decisions about how they will spend their money, with the biggest fall in living standards since records began being forecast. This decision does not present the club in a good light at all. It's really it's quite disgusting and really upsetting. You're going to tell us why this is upsetting, and of course it's for me reading it, it's relatively obvious, but I'd like to hear sort of in detail what your thoughts are, Brian.
Yeah. So before I go into this, and I'm going to make this very, very clear. People know me on YouTube, on social media, wherever you want to say. People know my name and what I'm trying to do with Levy Out. Not just me. There is a huge group of us. I can see Ryan in there. Rez is in there. There's a load of us. I can't go through all the names out because I can't see them, but I can see Ryan. I can see Rez. God, I've got my glasses. I can see you. You can see me. And people know that, yes, I do have a bloody agenda, and I'm not afraid of admitting it. But this time, this isn't about investment in the players. This isn't about managers in and out. This isn't about paying stadium debt. This isn't about who should come in, who should come out. This isn't about contracts. This isn't about naming rights. This isn't about sponsorship money that's coming, like the training ground sponsorship, the sleeve sponsorship. This isn't about the NFL events. This rant is all about Daniel Levy and the Tottenham Hotspur board once again literally treating the Tottenham fans like dog shit. Yeah. Like a piece of crap they have on the bottom of their shoe, and once again people are falling for it. How dare he say to people, you're going to have that money and you're going to do it now? This pandemic that we're finally hopefully coming out of, people might not even have jobs. People might be losing their houses. People might not be able to feed their kids. People might not be, and the one shred of enjoyment they have is going to see their beloved football club, Tottenham Hotspur. First of all, you do it before the end of the season. And I know why he's done this. I know why he's done this. And I know so many fans that have said, you know what, before this was announced, the season ticket renewal deadline is normally middle of June or 10th to 20th of June. And I know I know of hundreds of fans that have said, do you know what, he ain't getting my money till like a minute before that deadline. Yeah. If we've invested.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we haven't invested,
the manager get backed, right?
And if we haven't invested, he ain't getting my money. Well, he's taken that ace up your sleeve, out of your hands. That's gone. So you have to do it before. Then I've heard people, and I've had someone tweet me today, going, "Oh, Brian, aren't you going to talk about the good he's done in freezing the prices?" No, I'm bloody not, because we don't even know what European competition we're going to be in, or if it all goes wrong, if we're in Europe. Yeah. So if you raise the tickets and we don't make Europe or we don't make Champions League, you look like an idiot. You're getting money in. Use the money that you've got from all these events and everything. There are people. I mean, the thing that's really got to me about this is the supporters trust coming for a lot of slack, and I have given them some slack where I feel they deserved it. They do not deserve it.
Yeah, not in this case at all.
This time, the one thing I say, well, and I will come on to it, where I think they may need to come in for a little bit, and this is very, very minor. The work they do, you've got to remember the work they do for the disability access around the stadium, and all the other things behind the scenes that don't focus around the playing staff, the pitch, the whatever, the manager controls. The Supporters Trust have got together with the LGBT community, LGBTQ, sorry, and the disability trust kind of thing, and it's a slap in their faces, all three of them.
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting. And then for the trust to have to come out and say, we urge you to email the ticket office to discuss your financial situation. Do you think the ticket office are going to be told by Daniel Levy, oh, yeah, well, maybe do it for this one? Do you know how many thousands of emails that are now coming
it's not really going to do much, is it?
Office that don't get paid in ways that they deserve to deal with the shit that you've created? And people said, oh, yeah, but he's still doing it in installments. No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. We don't know what product we're getting on the pitch. We don't know what's going on with the money. We don't know where our money is going. It's okay for him to recently up the price on food and beverage 7%.
It's the most expensive ticket in the
most expensive
league as it is already. So the
freeze on the tickets is absurd. I have my sister on the phone to me this morning. And it's my twin nephew's 10th birthday on April the 9th. And she's like, Brian, they're really getting into football. I want to buy him a football kit. Our Spurs going to be bringing out another kit next season. She was like, I'm not going to go to the Spurs shop. Don't worry, I'll go elsewhere. But do I go get them this kit or that kit? And I said, honey, they're like £90 now. I said, I don't know what they are for 10-year-olds. She's like, bloody hell.
Still expensive, yeah.
And I was like, darling, I'm telling you, you want to get them Spurs stuff? And I said, I had the dream of buying them their first kit. I got them their first, but I'm not spending it, as you know. And it comes to the point where you can do that for the fans. You can do that, but there's no. Why don't you come out, Levy, and say why you're doing this? And the one thing I will say with the trust, where I think they need to come in for a little bit of, and I'm going to use Liverpool as the example. When Liverpool went through the stage of raising their tickets to a ridiculous amount, Liverpool Supporters Trust came out and said, right, this is not what we're doing. We urge you to protest and walk out on I think they were raising it to £77. So we said at the 77th minute, walk out.
Yeah.
Walk out. And because the trust got behind that and said, this is what we want to do, and gathered with the fans, and this is what I'm saying, that the Supporters Trust have a chance to come with the fans now. I'm not, like I said, I am not bashing the Supporters Trust. I think the work they do outside.
I get the frustration with it as well. The Supporters Trust is frustrating to some extent. They've done some really good things, and they continue to do really good things. It's just this relationship they've had with Daniel Levy, especially since the pandemic started, but even just before that, which we've talked about on streams on our channel and on many channels. I think it's been an ongoing conversation. Is that what good are they doing now? Like what the lack of communication, the lack of trust, the fact they're called the Supporters Trust, but what trust do the supporters have in them getting anything done? And then what trust does Daniel Levy have in their relationship, since neither of them are they're being honest with each other? They have a dishonest relationship where one does one thing, they say they're going to do one thing and they do the other, and then the trust says that they're going to try to do something and they don't meet up the demands for the fans. So it's a difficult situation, and it's frustrating as hell. We want to see them succeed. A good supporters trust, as you just mentioned what happened at Liverpool, is massively important. It's a huge benefit if they have power. They only have power if the fans are behind them and they're all speaking from the same hymn sheet. So that's what I'd like to see from them. So I just wanted to add to that.
No. It was just literally like where they said, where they were saying, like, this is another slap in the face. The trust has gone. So now the trust has gone. We have to act now. I'd like to see them say, listen, they don't have to. They don't have to do what I say. But it's come to the point now where you can't keep doing this to someone and slapping them in the face. There's got to be a time where you say, do you know what, you're not slapping me anymore. So like Liverpool did with the 77th minute and walked out because it was £77. I was talking to Stelios about this actually earlier. We're just having a little chat, and do you know what we're saying? You know what, the actual deadline is April the 29th. So like Liverpool did with 77, it was like, do you know what, people aren't going to walk out on the 29th minute. Fact.
Yeah.
No one's going to do it. And in a minute, we'll bring the very special guest on. People aren't going to bring it. People aren't going to walk out the 29th minute. Fact. Absolute fact. But you can walk out 29 minutes from the end.
Yeah, there's ways of doing it for sure, 100%. And yeah, I'd like to see that.
And if you work it out, oh god, here we go, some maths. So wait, hold the line.
Don't do maths. We had that last night.
I worked this out. Chris Agenbar actually said no maths today. If you work it out as well, 29 minutes away from 90 actually works out at 61.
Right.
61, obviously
61st minute. Yeah, sure.
61st minute for the double. 61st minute, 29 minutes left. Obviously, trying to get it done is very, very hard, because we can all talk about it on YouTube. We can all voice our frustrations on social media. Yeah. We can all do this. Now, people will know when I say, if I was at White Hart Lane and I was in London, I would walk out, not only on the 29th minute of the first half, I will walk out. Any protest that gets planned when I'm there, I will do it, no matter what it is. But there's got to come a time where you go there. Yes, it gets to that point.
You lost your train of thought there, but I think the point is that if the fans have to get together and commit to the same decision of doing it, of saying we're going to do this together, and there has to be a movement where everybody agrees, or at least enough agree that it's shocking and difficult for Daniel Levy to watch. If he's sitting in his seats and he sees 20,000 fans, even if it's 20,000, a third of the fans get up and walk out at a certain time, maybe it's a much of the South Stand, because a lot of those fans are going to be feeling the same way about it. If you can make something like that happen, and the trust can be the ones who kind of galvanize, then that trust becomes more powerful. And then when they do sit down with Daniel Levy, they'll actually have a voice that he'll listen to, because currently that isn't the case. And that's what this shows us. That he clearly, Daniel Levy just reads it, or maybe he doesn't even bother to read. He's got somebody to do it for him, and he just says, no, I'm not doing it. And that's kind of that's the situation we're in, unfortunately. So difficult.
Exactly. And you know what? This is the prime time. We're bringing the superstar on, or should I say Superman, on for a little hint. And what a nice easy subject to bring him in on. So Brian, do you want to let him in? The one and only, go wild in the comments.
Bobby.
Look who is back. Return of the Bob. How are we doing, Superman?
All right, mate. All right. Enjoying a nice little coffee that Kim's just made. Well, nice.
Oh, loving that mug, mate. Loving that mug. So, first of all, let everyone know how you're feeling, buddy.
Good. Bit of another day, bit of normality. So slowly but surely getting back to normality. That's what we need.
Exactly. So what's your thoughts on, obviously, the what's happened today with the supporters trust and the board, and what's your take on it?
Are we surprised?
No.
Oh, we saw it along. Yeah, we saw it a long time coming. So, no, there's no surprise there. Just like when we were going to get Conte in, all the season renewals came in, and the day after the deadline, oh yeah, by the way, we're not getting Conte. So the usual tactics. But let's be honest, if you're hardcore Spurs, you're going to renew regardless, aren't you? So and they know that. So. Yeah, it's not surprising. And there's only so much the trust can do. I've got no trust in the trust because they're supposed to be a mouthpiece for the fan base, and they can relay what our thoughts are. But you do find that their views towards some of the things that the board do are completely different to how we think. So, yeah, I've got no trust in the trust. I've got no trust in the board. We support Spurs. We support the team. We support Sonny, Kane, Lloris, and that's all that matters to an extent. In this case, right? And the manager, yeah, of course. Yeah. But no, there's no surprise. I wouldn't waste my breath stressing about the season ticket renewals not being brought forward, stopping or whatever. It doesn't surprise. The fact if they had changed it, that would have been more of a surprise.
Yeah, I think the stress comes from those who actually can't afford it, and that's the frustrating part of it. Is you're going to watch friends of yours and people who would normally have budgeted for this, and I think that's the main thing. You budget for things, especially if you are a season ticket holder. Every year, you know, you spend a certain amount of money. You make a certain amount of money through the course of the year to save up for it, so that when the next time comes, you have enough to pay for it. When it gets bumped up a month or 2 months, or I don't know the specific exact number of time, but it's a time when everybody is struggling for money, right? So it just seems like a complete piss take. And like,
well,
you said,
King Arthur isn't renewing.
Yeah.
He isn't.
He's not renewing.
No, he goes. He's lost all faith in the board. It's just disillusioned. Like quite a few fans. I think it obviously backs Conte and the team and the players, but there's the oomph within the club has just completely gone.
Yeah, which I completely understand for sure.
I mean, I keep saying it. If it had been another team, let's say Liverpool had said this right this season, Liverpool fans will probably go, do you know what? No problem at all. I've seen a Champions League, a European League, Champions League. I've seen the team invested in. I've seen the stadium. All right, we can't talk the stadium, but all these key components are being done with the money that's getting invested into the club, as well as winning trophies and the money that brings. And Liverpool will really go, there you go, have my money. You want it early? There you go. Maybe a bit of a fuss, but they could see where the money's going. They can understand and have faith in the board to say, right, you want it early? You must want it for some reason. Here you go, have it. There is no justification I don't think there's a single Spurs fan, or there may be a few, but would say, do you know what? I'm going to give my money to Daniel Levy early because I trust him with what he's going to do with it.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you have to. And like I say to people like Arthur, who aren't renewing, it's really sad to hear because Arthur is a Levy out, but these people have had season tickets for years and years and years and years. And I keep saying I want as many people to renew as possible, because if you don't renew and you are Levy out, people that have just been dying for a season ticket are coming in.
Yeah, it's going to get more and more touristy as it goes, if that's the case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So before we start bringing fans on, because we've got quite a few in the queue already, Bob, I want you to do a huge push for the greatest show on YouTube history that's coming tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30 back with In the Wall, another chapter 2, a bit of normality. Can't wait. It's not, I know a lot of people are bigging up the show. For me, it's not about the show, what the content's going to be, what we're going to talk about. It's just being able to do it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Being in a position where, I can put content out where, a few weeks ago, it might not have been possible. So it's the fact that I'm in a position, because like Brian knows, I was going to do it mid-April. But just delaying it, I didn't see the point. If I do want to get back a bit of, strategy and a bit of normality in life, I want to do it sooner rather than later. So it might last only half an hour, it might last only 45 minutes, it might go on for 3 hours. I don't know, but yeah.
Tune in, folks. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, so 10:30 tomorrow. It should be good, hopefully.
Okay, so before we bring Adam on and then the first guest, because there'll be 5 of us on the screen. Adam, can we just bring up that I'm sure there's been quite a few messages for Bob.
So I think Adam is not with us at the moment. So we're asking Adam to do something, and he's not here.
Oh, you're not with us?
Yeah, I think he's bounced out. So just hop in the comments if you want to bring some up.
Yeah, I'll bring some up. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. So here we go. Is that the first? Wait, I'm going to go for the first. Carry on talking. I'll find the first one. Then we'll go. There we go. Here we go. So we've got from us, show Bob Spurs some love, and boy, have they. Big up, Wayne. Wolves. We've got Kyle Patrick Vineyard. Got Adam Clark. We've got Alan Harris. Born to Lose. Look at it all go mad. Welsh Girl. Mick. Let's see what else we've got. Super Tottenham. We have got, I'm going through this as quickly as I can, but Kuva, the legend that is Kuva.
What's up, Coovs?
So it's all good to see. Good to see Bob back from Tom THFC. Tottenham TV.
It's not sounding good. Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. I'm getting there.
He's coming. Yeah. I think he sounds great. The last time
he sounds, believe me, people, when I say he sounds absolutely goddamn phenomenal. We got Mark Cousins. We got William Jr. We got the Irish Hotspur in.
Oh,
And then, so what we do, we start bringing on the guests one by one. I'll set the timer for 15 minutes.
It looks like Adam is back with us again, so I'm going to bring in Adam first.
Hey. Adam,
yeah.
So first of all, let me set the timer. And then, like I said, these 15 minutes, whoever's coming on, this is your 15 minutes to talk about whatever you want. We have no fixed script. You're going to come on and you're going to lead the way. So let me get the countdown timer at 15 when I can find it. Who we got?
Going to be precise.
We got Phil Latis is going to be with us first. He's been waiting since the show started. So eager beaver is. What's up, Phil? How's it going, boss?
Phil, your 15 minutes start now, brother.
Boom. How you doing, guys? Nice to see you, Bob. Nice to see you. Looking
big up, Phil.
So I guess I went to the game Sunday, and I suppose what was quite I thought it was a great performance, but I'm questioning how much Conte trusts outside of that first 11, because it was only when we went 3-1 up that he even had people warming up ready to come on. And it just felt that, when he looked at the bench, there was no trust there of somebody that can come on and make a difference. I just really wanted to put it out there and just see what the guys think.
Go on, Bob, you go first, brother.
Yeah, I mean, we all know if... with our midfield situation with Skippy out, our next option is Winks, and we all know what we think about Winks. And the same issue up front that we've had for 7 years. Kane, if Kane needs to have a rest with 15 minutes to go, and we're only 1 goal up, 2 goals up, you just don't want to take that risk by taking him off and bringing who? Scarlett on. Lucas, I think what's happened to Lucas is Decky. The fact Decky's come in, hit the ground running. He's kind of put Lucas and a lot of people know what I think of Bergwijn. It's put them both to shame, really. I think you're spot on. He's looking at that bench and thinking, "No, I don't think I trust these guys as much as I really should do." And I think, obviously, the summer's going to be massive.
Yeah, well, that's always the hope. But I think you're right. Both Brian's were saying earlier about Decky and maybe injured, and I'm sat here thinking, okay, so he doesn't play against Newcastle. It's like, which one do you go for? Which one of the two? Because it has to be Bergwijn or Mora, but it just doesn't feel that trust is there. Not just from Conte, but probably from the fans as well, because there's no point at 60 minutes when we're 2-1 up and it's looking a little bit like, ooh, what could happen, that you're thinking, well, do you know what? Make the change, bring on Mora. It's like, for who?
Yeah.
Whereas you look at, again, I hate to talk about Liverpool, but they have one of the best front threes going. And then they've got Firmino, they've got Jota, they've got Diaz in there. And you're replacing great with great. And we're replacing very good with, for me, just very average.
Yeah, it's disappointing to be in that situation. Of course, what happened in January, whoever you want to blame it on, we got rid of 3 midfielders that were creative midfielders that were attacking players, and they weren't really fully replaced by one player essentially that is going to offer something from an attacking perspective. And Lucas Moura, he just his flaws all came out when Decky joined, right? Decky joined, and then because Decky's been so bloody good, Moura just looks average, and we just need them all to stay fit till the end of the season and run with that first 11 as long as we possibly can, and hopefully get to the glory of finishing 4th. But
we need none of them to pick up any eye injuries for staff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does look like he'll be all right. I think if we were playing, if we were coming up against Liverpool or Arsenal and some of the big games that we have coming up, and that was instead of Newcastle, we were playing one of them, I'd be nervous. But I think if we could deal with Mora or Bergwijn starting against Newcastle, I don't think that's a massive problem. But if he stayed injured, or if he was injured for the rest of the season, I think it would be a massive problem. So hopefully he's fit enough that it's just let the swelling go down and put some ice on it and some Advil, and he'll be fine to play.
Phil, I have to say, it looked like a great day that you were having with all the YouTubers and at Everton. It looked like a real good occasion.
Yeah, that was a blast to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was like, there wasn't many missing. Obviously, yourself, Bob, would have been great to be there. But I think when we went out, obviously, we met before the game, then went afterwards. There was about 15 of us in the end, but all from the YouTube community. So it was just a great atmosphere. And obviously, then when you go and win and you beat West Ham, it obviously increases the atmosphere anyway. But
Phil, quick question for you: what was it like after the game? Because I mean, we saw the chants going on in the stadium, and I don't know if you were staying there for that. The West Ham get battered everywhere we go for a good hour, it seemed like. But were you involved in that? And what was the party like afterwards?
He started.
I was on the sidelines this time, but obviously, I've watched the video, I watched Danny's video and everything, but it looked like everyone literally came out of the South Stand, went behind the stadium, and were just like they were just singing that song. But the support, I have to say, I've been to a few games this season, but by far this felt the most supported. It was like a proper electric atmosphere, and
I heard that a lot amongst a lot of fans who had been there in different podcasts that was the case, that it was one of the best atmospheres in the new stadium that they'd seen.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to work out, what it can't just be because it's West Ham or because it's a derby or because of all of this. I'm just kind of wondering, I'm looking at this and think we could probably afford to drop 3 points maybe at Anfield, but every other game has to be a win. And, what you have to do is you have to start with the next game. So the next game now becomes must win. And the fact that they've broken that duck and they've actually finally done back to back, is just psychologically is massive, because those games are winnable.
Do you know what it's like? Conte was saying as well, every game, bar maybe, as you said there, Phil, maybe Liverpool is like a cup final now.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
Phil, where do you see us in the top 4 race?
I think, honestly, I think we'll end up 5th or 6th. I think our mentality will let us down. I think we'll go into a game against somebody like Newcastle where we're like, yeah, we played so well against West Ham, not a problem. We've got this one in the bag, and we'll come up short. And unfortunately, I think the Scummers will get 4th. I know they've got a tough run of fixtures, but they seem to scrawl their way through stuff. And for me, I'd still have them as favourites, but as always, being a Tottenham fan, ever hopeful. But I just think
that's how we roll, man. That's how we roll.
I'd be absolutely gutted if we didn't finish 4th. I expected us to finish 4th as soon as Conte came in. Results haven't gone our way. Fortunately, I was in a coma throughout December and Jan, so I missed all the Chelsea games. But now the way we're playing, we're not just beating teams, we're beating teams properly. Yeah, Man United
scoring a lot of goals too.
Yeah, exactly. And United was a Ronaldo game, wasn't it? We were shit, they were shit. They had Ronaldo. But no, I'll be absolutely gutted if we don't finish 4th. I expect us to finish 4th. We will finish 4th.
I expect us to finish no lower than 5th now at this point, because I think the mentality is slowly but surely changing for the good. But I don't think it might be enough necessarily to get us top 4. And also, I hate to say it, but the filth, as Brian calls them, are looking pretty solid at the minute. But I mean, we have to go and beat them in the North London derby. And like me, I'll never ever say that we're going to even draw that derby. Win all day long for us.
It's a big game. That's the winner there, right?
Yeah.
Phil, this is your time, brother. Do you think we beat Arsenal in that North London derby?
Well, do you know what? If you'd asked me this 3 weeks ago, I was adamant that we weren't getting a point out of that. But the change, and it's, as you look at the record, it's like they've won 4 in 5 in the league. So the tide is turning. So at the moment, that front 3. But for me, that most influential player on Sunday was Bentancur. He was absolutely phenomenal. He just controlled the middle.
Yeah.
For me, controversial, but made Højbjerg look better.
But
100% true.
A more solid unit. And we were talking when we were watching, and it was like they were knocking it around the back. And normally that makes me nervous as hell. But Romero seemed to have stepped up as well. And like a couple of times he lost the ball. What did he do? He went and won it back. And it was like, it was almost like an insult to him that I've lost the ball. Well, I'm going to show you that I'm worth it. So it just felt a little bit more of a solid team performance. And, most important thing at this point when you're going on a run in is momentum, isn't it? And
don't you think, Phil, that Bentancur's had to learn quicker as well than a Decky? Obviously, Decky's playing alongside Kane and Sonny. It's not easy, but when you've got two world class players around,
right?
but with Bentancur, he's got the off form Højbjerg. Let's be honest, he wasn't in the greatest forms, and he's got Winks, and obviously Skip is injured at the moment. So I think and I think early on when he started, he was losing the ball pretty consistently. He was good on the ball, but he did get caught in possession quite a bit. And I think he's had to learn really quick. I think the Man United game where he was shit, I think he took away, in a way, he took a lot away from that game. And it's not a case of keeping the ball and doing what you want. He's realising that he needs to get rid of the ball a lot quicker, and he's got the ability to find a pass. So I think it's been harder for Bentancur to come into the team and strike stuff than Decky, although they've both done absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and you wonder if that might even be a little bit about the language. We don't know how fluent he is in English or anything like that, but he's another different nation's language and everything in there. Whereas I would probably quite comfortably say Decky probably speaks a fair bit of English, so he's got to deal with that. But I just felt Sunday he just seemed. He almost had a bubble around him that was like, I'm the man. I've got the ball. I make the passes. There were a few short ones sideways, but suddenly then they sped it up and, a quick ball forward, and it just changed the whole concept of the game. And, for me, he was absolutely by far man of the match. I know people say Son and Kane, but for me, he just controlled the whole thing. And that bit quite late on when he was caught at the edge of the 18-yarder, I proper was like nervous as hell, and he literally just turned the two of them, and it was like, whoa. And whether that's a sign of his confidence as he's starting to fit in a little bit better, just either way, it makes no difference because what he did was just great.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, you spoke about Romero, and whenever I say Romero, especially that I'm with Superman. When I didn't know a lot about him when we were living with him, and Bob was actually trying to get a sponsorship with or endorsement from Kleenex because Bob, if you want to rat me out, I'll rat you out, brother. Revenge, brother. But yeah, he was going. Bob, and I think the Irish Hotspur was the other one that was waxing lyrical about this guy. And obviously, when I thought he was coming, I thought he was coming in as the centre of a back three or a centre back in the back four with Nuno. And my word, this guy is just phenomenal. What a beast. What an absolute beast. And incredible.
We refer to him as a dog. And he is. He's a mad dog.
He's so entertaining to watch. It's a type of player that we've desperately need in that side to really get them galvanized and showing the intensity. He's a blast to watch. Absolutely.
Would you trust him with the captaincy?
Romero?
Yeah. I think maybe eventually. I think he's maybe a bit too soon for that. I think he needs to be with the club a bit longer.
Yeah, eventually.
But I think he has the potential for it. Certainly, he has the mentality. He's what you want in a player, and especially in a defender, a center half who is gritty as hell, but really slick on the ball and does not worry too much about fouling. Just fouls the shit out of everybody. I love it.
It's dangerous, of course, but it's fun. As the furthest player forward.
Yeah, when he scored that goal, he's like, "What's he doing in the box there in front of everybody else?" Hilarious.
He kind of covers that right hand side, doesn't he? So he's kind of helping out Doherty, which kind of gives him that little bit of license. So I'm wondering, have we seen an improvement in Doherty and to some extent Royale, but not much because Romero's over there and he's like doubling up and they're covering that side, whereas Dyer's now in the middle and marshalling all of it. It kind of allows Romero to do a little bit more of what he does best, which is tackle, win the ball, play it forward.
Yeah, and play it forward really well, like accurate, beautiful, good passing from after winning the ball back. It's just a joy, absolute joy.
I never saw that coming from Romero. I knew he'd be an absolute rock in defense, but I never knew he'd be so good, like going forward as well. Like that came as an absolute
it's a nice surprise,
huge, great surprise. Like, exactly.
No doubt.
Don't think I'd be afraid of.
Let you know, Phil. You're in the final 1:30.
Let's have him have his last say before we bring on Brad. We're going to bring on Brad first because Brad's got to go to another channel, so we'll get his 15.
That's fine. I'll say goodnight and I'll let Brad sort of drop in. But thanks for letting me come on. It's been great to see you all. Bob,
Good to
it's
see
been
you.
great to see you finally.
There you go,
Obviously
Phil.
watching you, but lovely to see you, and brilliant that you're back. And I'll look forward to your show tomorrow night.
Cheers, Phil.
buddy.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
Phil, see you later on, brother.
All
Stay
right,
safe, man.
Cheers, mate.
all right, let's bring
Okay.
on. Just
Bring
wanna
on
make sure
Mr. Brad Matthews, and I'll reset the timer.
Hey.
There
Hey,
he
There
guys.
he
is.
is.
Let's
Hello.
Right,
Brad.
your
Hello.
I
15
love that
minutes
name, Brad, by the way.
start.
I absolutely love
Your
that name,
15
Brad.
minutes start now.
Well, what I really want to say is that no. So, first of all, hi Bob. It's so good to see you. I enjoyed our
Very
chat
up, brother.
yesterday. It was really brilliant to see you back in that. And all I will say is that do it at your own pace.
Yeah.
When you want to be on, do it. If you can't do it for whatever reason, that's not a problem. You do it at your own pace. But it's so great to see you back, and something that really is more important than football. Well,
Yeah.
which we're here to talk about, but no, it's really
Cheers,
good to see you back in that.
Thank you. Mate.
Yeah, I heard what you were saying, Brian, about the Daniel Levy thing, and yeah, that's
I
pretty.
was talking about leaving.
Yeah, no, I
Shock
think
and
you
awe,
were.
right?
I know it's unusual. I know it's something you don't
Never done that
normally
before,
do, but yeah, I just think that's it's pretty disgusting. But as you say, most season ticket holders, myself included, will renew. I mean, I will probably now wait till the 28th of April and renew then, rather than do it now. But it's. I worked it out. If you have 45,000 season ticket holders at £1,000 each, that's £45 million. Now they can do without that £45 million for another month if they had the last, the final day in say May or after the season. So yeah, I think it's disgusting. It's just typical of what big corporations do these days. They basically screw people. And,
Well, Brad, I just want to say that as well. I mean, with your situation as well, you'd already planned before this was announced. You're coming out to see me in Canada. Then you're going. Then you're flying to Australia to see your mother, who you haven't seen since COVID. So you've laid out a great expense because after COVID, you can finally do these things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this happens. Now, thankfully, as you know, you said you're in a position to be able to do that. But there are a lot of people that are planning to fly out and see family that they haven't seen for.
This is the thing. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
This is the thing. I've paid. I've got money in account ready for my season ticket. I might even be moving to a cheaper part of the. I might even go in the South Stand next season. I haven't decided that yet. But I've got enough money to renew the seat I'm in at the moment. It's there. It's in an account. It's there, ready to go. Not a problem. So I could renew tomorrow if I wanted to. But I know there's other people that aren't in that position. I mean, okay. But when I was working, I used to wait for my bonus. That paid my season ticket. My bonus would be in my April pay. So
that goes to what I was saying about it earlier. Like,
so my April pay used to be on the 16th.
Plan for it.
So so if they'd have put the season ticket renewals on say the 15th, I wouldn't have been able to pay it because of that.
Would anything stop you from renewing, Brad?
Good question. Actually.
No, the only thing that would stop me was if we were incredibly bad. But I have a hope with Conte. I have a hope with the current team we've got at the moment. I have a hope that we might get some decent players in summer that we might be able to challenge next season. Not necessarily for the title, but to be in that sort of reckoning. So because of that, I will renew. If we'd have continued to say under Nuno, for instance, then I'll be it would certainly cross my mind. But the problem is, there's such a waiting list. There's so many people. If you get rid of your season ticket now, that's it.
Yeah, you're not getting it again for the rest of your life.
I'm 61 now. If I got rid of my season ticket, that'd be it. Would be able to get a season ticket.
Brad, how long have you had your season ticket for?
1995.
Wow.
There you go. I mean, this is someone that's been there. So we're talking pre-Levy, and this is the thing. What you can see the thing about that's why I keep saying about urging fans to keep the season ticket because we need as many people that are Levy out or whatever, and not even Levy out. The people that go there for their enjoyment to stay there and have their voices heard. And there will be a time where these people leave. There will be a time. God knows when it will be. And then the season ticket demand is going to go absolutely astronomical.
Yeah.
And if you've lost it, you're going to be at back of a very, very long queue.
I was very lucky. There were a couple of seasons that my mum and dad paid for my ticket. And then another couple of seasons where I didn't go, but the guy who's sitting near me, he took over my ticket. It's still in my name, but he paid for it and he went to the game. So a couple of seasons I didn't get to the games, but I still had it in my name. So I'm lucky in that respect. And then I got the job where, as I said, my bonus would be in April. That would be my season ticket money. And now I basically, when I knew I was leaving, I thought, right, I've got to make sure I've got enough money in my account for this season's season ticket. But next season, I don't know. I mean, if I'm not earning an income next season, well, then I might not be able to afford it next season. But yeah, and the other thing is that I'm not sure I haven't looked at the details when you pay in installments, but I looked at that a few years ago when I was having trouble paying for it. And I think it turned out to be something like £100 a month.
Oh,
is it big interest then, is it?
Yeah, I thought, yeah, exactly. And I thought, what the hell? I can't pay it. That's,
Brilliant.
I mean,
mad.
I'm going to pay more than that is for my rent. So it's
49% APR.
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, come on, yeah, go to Levy Finances and whatever, and it's a joke, complete joke. And I know I've been in debt problems. I've had a lot of debt in my time. I'm okay now, but there were times that I was in a lot of debt, so I know it's incredibly difficult. So yeah, all this talk about, it's okay, come and talk to us. You can pay in installments. Well, no, that's. And now with that, you've got everyone's got my electricity or gas. My electricity bill, my direct debit for my electricity has gone up by 50%.
Yeah, it's going to.
Yeah. So everyone's got that as well. So you've got that on top of paying for your season ticket. So all this talk about, oh no, come and see us and spread it over 10 months. No, that's a complete bollocks.
Yeah, more bollocks from.
Yeah, I despair. I really do. And you got this stuff down with Haringey Council, haven't you? Where he's made this sort of this letter about we want it to be. Now you can look at it two ways. You can say maybe he's genuine, maybe he actually does really want to develop the area and create jobs and whatever. But then I say, well, yeah, okay, that's great. It's great, Daniel, but if you're doing that for a community, then the football club has got to be the centre of that community, and you're totally forgetting about the football club. So it's all very well, if Chip King, if there's only 30,000 people are going each week to see Tottenham, well, then Chip King going to be in the same position as they were when White Hart Lane was there. So I want to talk about the stadium bringing more and more people. Well, it doesn't work, does it? If there's only 30,000 people going, so yeah, I just don't get it. But then again, I don't like billionaires anyway, so majority of them anyway.
Bunch of pricks.
So they're basically doing what billionaires do, and that's basically screw people. So
yeah.
Basically, be pricks.
Yeah, that's why they got all the money.
Adam, a man, a few words.
Do you know what? I can't believe I started speaking about Levy. Funny enough, let's try and change it from Levy as well. Because I've got a feeling that the next caller and a few other callers are going to want to talk about him as well. So obviously, let's go back to we'll go back to the Premier League, and we start off with Newcastle.
Big up.
Yeah, we were going to bring that on before we brought the guest on, but we brought it up. So outside, thank you for obviously super happy to see Superman back in the building. We all are, and thank you for the donation towards that, mate. It is wonderful to have him back. So yeah, Bob, Brad, going back to Newcastle, how do you see the next few games? We've got Newcastle and Villa. Let's talk about Newcastle and Villa. Well, I mean, we spoke about it earlier on today.
We did.
But what do you reckon in those two games?
I think we can beat Newcastle. I think it'll be difficult because Newcastle have got a bit of form back now, and it won't be like when we beat them at their ground. And the reason I'm saying that, I'm not superstitious, I'm not religious, I'm not any way that inclined, but I am a man about law of averages, and we haven't beaten Newcastle at home for a long time. We had last season when they won we got the draw when they had that stupid penalty in the last seconds. We had the season before, the first game at the new stadium with Newcastle when we lost 1-0. We had that situation where back in December once when we needed to beat them to go in the top four, and we 1-0 up and lost 2-1. Yeah. We had one game where we lost 1-0 where their keeper was the best keeping display ever. Yeah. So we owe Newcastle. So I'm confident on that basis. We're playing well. Don't get me wrong. We're playing well. I think the team at the moment. I thought we played pretty well against Man United.
So did I. I think so as well. I think. Not in the final third, but in the game itself.
Yeah, it was just that Ronaldo. As I said on a few other streams, Ronaldo had that will to win. When that corner came over, he thought, "I'm getting this. I'm scoring this," and he did.
And he does that. He jumps like higher than anybody on the planet.
Exactly. So he had that. He had that, and he was the only
play.
one on the pitch that had that will to win.
Yeah.
And Man United won the game. So I thought we played pretty well in that game. I thought we were good against Brighton, although Brighton are pretty poor. I thought we were good against West Ham, and that was the first big game that we've won. And I thought we won it convincingly. I thought when we went 2-0 up, I thought we were going to win that 3 or 4-0. But then we set piece, conceded from the set piece.
The inevitable part where everybody gets like, oh God, what's going to happen?
Yeah. But I thought we actually played pretty well. I think they're starting to play as a team. And as I said on one of the streams today, if we can keep this first 11, if they stay fit, then I think we've got a chance. And I think Newcastle, I think we'll beat Newcastle on that basis. Villa away. Again, if you go with my law of averages theory, well, then we've won the last 6 games at Aston Villa. So on that basis, we might not win that game. So I think, I think we'll beat Newcastle, but I think Villa that'll be difficult. That'll be really, really difficult. But yeah, I think the next few games for this amazing unbeaten run of 2 games, So it's, but I think I think Newcastle, I think will win. Villa, I'm not so sure. I think that Arsenal have got a bad loss in their pockets coming up. Because they've
got a couple as well. I think they've been a bit lucky of who they played and haven't had that many difficult fixtures.
Exactly. They're due for a bit of a slip up. And the other thing, as I said earlier today, was we have to beat them at home. We've got to beat them.
That's the game that matters the most, Brad, doesn't it?
Exactly. We have to beat Arsenal.
If we win that game, we should finish top 4, I think. The rest of them should balance out that game will be enough to get us over the line.
Yeah.
I'd be curious when they're going to play it, of course. I don't know when they're actually going to play it. I think the talk is sometime early May, but that's kind of like close to the end of the season. So
I think it might be. I initially thought it'd be between Burnley and Norwich. Maybe it was the last 2 games. I think it might be the week before. Right. Which I think we have Liverpool on that weekend. So Liverpool away and Arsenal at home. So happy days.
Imagine if it was on May the 4th and we're both going for top 4. Wouldn't that be the most poetic
thing?
May
the 4th be with you, right?
You know what? I want to bring a comment up that I've seen. I want to bring up I'll bring it up now from Peyton, which is, I think this is so true. It's maybe we'll make top 4, but either way, we need movement both ways in the summer and abide by what Conte wants.
Oh, yeah.
And 100%. I think that is the nuts and bolts of it all, really, isn't it? We need. It's when Conte says what he wants. It's not we'll get a version, not one for the future that could turn out to be this one. It's I want this. Go get me this.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk today saying, would you have Bale back? And I was like, well, Conte wants him,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's down to Conte. If Conte believes that he can get Bale in and get a good season out of him.
Exactly.
The guy needs to stay fit for the World Cup. He wants to go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
If Conte wants him, get him in. If Conte don't want him, no.
Yeah. I agree with that. I totally
that's
agree with
literally backing the manager by definition.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see Bale back. I'm not sure how he fits in with the way Conte plays his football, but I mean, I'd love to see Bale back on a personal level. Of course I would, but no, if Conte doesn't want him, then great. If he wants him, brilliant. So and we have to. I talked about earlier today, Bob, your question about implications.
Yeah. It take you back to a couple of songs, did it?
Yeah, the implications. So, but I think, top 4 obviously will give you increased income. But as Brian quite correctly said, Conte doesn't spend lots and lots and lots of money.
Nope.
So hopefully he'll and again, we've got to get him the players he wants. None of this. I can't remember the player that Pochettino wanted, but we ended up with Fazio. So
it tells you everything, doesn't it?
That was happening all the time.
He wanted.
I can tell you, know what? I remember the player. I can't remember his name, but it was another Argentinian.
Yeah, it was.
Who played Marcunio or something. And he played for. I can't remember who's the team in Spain that play in all yellow.
Villarreal.
Yeah.
It may have been Villarreal, but he got one of those ankle injuries like David Boost from Coventry years ago. But that happened after. But that's the player we were going for. Yeah. And it's like I said, when Pochettino first came and he said he wanted Wanyama or Schneiderlin, and we went and got Benjamin Stambouli. So that was the season that happened.
I mean, we were. I mean, Pochettino wanted to shop at Waitrose, and we were basically getting Tesco, weren't we? Really. So it is
Exactly.
So
100%.
and that's been Tottenham all over, and I'm hoping that Conte is the one manager that's come in and said, no, that's not the way we do it. And I'm hoping that I think what happened at the Man United game when we lost 3-0 and the crowd sang Levy out, I think that had a big impact. And I whatever we think of Daniel Levy, he's an intelligent man, okay? He must know that that all hell will break loose if he doesn't back Conte. He must know that.
There you go. The timer went. The 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, Brad, that was quick 15 minutes.
That was 15 minutes. So, Brad, thank you so very much, brother.
You're brilliant.
You have a good evening, and we'll speak to you soon.
I will, and I'll see. I'll be logging into your show tomorrow, Bob. If you can get me on, brilliant. If not, it's not a problem, but I'll definitely be watching it.
Okay. Thanks, Brad. Thanks for being here with us, buddy. Have a good
one. Guys. Good night.
Cheers,
okay?
Good night.
Okay, so just a couple of things before we bring Rez on, and then the very patient George will be on, because George has
George has given up his spot a few times.
Because I love George to pieces. George is one of my favourite people. So
just quickly to everybody who is in there waiting, I know Daryl's there waiting. Just got to be patient, guys. We're getting everybody 15 minutes each. You're in the line. You will get on. It's just sort of the nature of the situation. So thanks for your patience, and we'll get to you soon.
Yeah, just a couple of things. First of all, to let you know, there'll be one other host joining us. The Tottenham on Tour quartet will be
full flight.
Will be a full house.
Be a full takeover then.
Danny Kiriakou will be joining. But I just want to say a big thank you to Wolfsfee once again with a super chat.
Cheers,
saying,
Wolfsfee.
can we reach 150 likes? Guys, we're up to 125 likes, so thank you so much.
Brian said he'll get another tattoo on his ass. If we can get to 200 likes, guys, if we can get to 200 likes.
If the words come out of my mouth, then I'll do it. But also, I won't do it with Bob, because Bob keeps saying a certain position to have it. He's obsessed. But also, whilst you're doing that and trying to get to the 120 likes, or now it's 130. If you look at the description where it says "Good evening, Tottenham," you'll see a hyperlink that says @Tottenham on Tour. If you can, and if you want to, and if you're joining the takeover and what Tottenham on Tour are offering, just click that hyperlink and push a subscribe. You don't even need to leave the stream. You don't even need to leave the page. And also, don't forget to respond to Superman that's down below Brian.
You had it
below
right,
Brian. So so we're up to 138 likes now. Thank you, people. And like I said, if you can hit that blue super hyperlink, just do so. We're waiting for Danny to join, but whilst we're waiting, let's bring on Reginald. Reginald, I'm going to reset the time, and your 15 minutes of fame start now, brother.
What's up,
another baldy.
I think
you need to shave your head like right now. Right now.
Sponsored by Manscaped.
I had my hair shaved, but yeah, exactly. Manscaped will sort it out now. I just deal with my balls on YouTube, not my hair.
Oh, cool.
Live
on the chest.
I was gonna say, when's the live stream for that?
You don't want to ask that question, Rez. You really don't.
Brian Arnold just literally said, Superman's down there. We all know Superman's
I was pointing down here, not to Bobby.
That's what he calls it. Yes, excellent. Yeah. I'm just wondering what he calls the two sort of things underneath. Anyway, So, what can I talk about?
Yeah,
good to see you, Bob. Again, looking forward to tomorrow's show. What can I talk about? What has happened recently at Spurs that might be out of
something
the ordinary?
Controversial, Rez? Anything controversial?
I don't know.
Something to do with our board?
Yeah, maybe no. So yeah, obviously you guys know what my stance is. My stance is the same as Brian's. I just want to chime in a little bit when it comes to the supporters trust, and I get the feeling that I might within this next 15 minutes piss a lot of people off, but I've never shied away from that, so I'll apologize in advance, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Hands up out of you guys, who has been critical of the supporters trust at some point?
Yeah.
Right. How many of you stood for election?
I don't think I can.
Same here.
Stood for elections.
The reason that the
definitely haven't.
supporters trust is the way it is, right? And the thing is that obviously you guys aren't necessarily indicative of the sort of fan base that can stand for election. But the point of it is that the reason that the supporters trust is the way that it is, and I'm not going to say it's effective or ineffective, but the reason that it is because it's those people that have stood up to be counted and have stood for the positions on the board. And so when they do that, they campaign. And they turn around and say, this is the agenda that I'm going to be standing for election for. And they're elected by their members. So the thing that I would say to anyone who has been critical of the Supporters Trust in the past is before you are critical of them, stand first and see whether or not those that are part of the Supporters Trust actually share your views, right?
Yep.
And that's the point. Exactly. Like, for instance, if Brian stood for a position on the board and people voted him in, then his voice, his agenda, which many of us share, would be part of the organization's overall agenda. And so the reason that Liverpool Supporters Trust is so effective is because their fans really do push, right?
Yeah.
Their fans are vocal. Their fans are much more united than we are as a fan base, and they all believe in a similar thing. And so
the biggest issue with me, Rez, when it comes to the trust, is you're right. Never stood for election or anything else. But for me, the word trust is a big thing. For me, they seem to be more of a mouthpiece for the board than the actual fans. There doesn't seem to be that much of a proactiveness.
I've heard this a lot, but they're not. The point is that they are, for whatever their faults, and they do have faults. I'm not gonna stand by and say that they're perfect. They're not, far from it. But the point of it is that they are as able as they are able to be. They're not a mouthpiece for the board because they're independent. And one accusation that is constantly leveled at them is, oh, they're funded by the club and they're a mouthpiece. Well, if they're a mouthpiece, why would Levy not want to talk to them? Why did he cancel a meeting with them? Why did he send them the letter, or why did the club send them a letter declining the issue that they raised? If they were a mouthpiece, they wouldn't have raised it at all in the first place. You know, they wouldn't have publicized it. They wouldn't have put anything on their website. The Supporters Trust needs more teeth. I'm not going to deny that.
That's what would be my complaint. Yeah.
But it needs teeth. But the problem is the teeth will come from the fan base. If the fan base aren't going to give them teeth, we can't stand around and say, oh, they've got no teeth. It's like, yeah, because you're not giving them teeth. You know, they will. If you're not satisfied with the way that they think, you've got to change it. You've got to go out in the same way that we're not happy with. You know, I'm not happy with the way that the Spurs board runs the club. Brian's not happy with the way that the board runs the club. So we went and protested. We make our voices heard. We do what we can. We are active in it. Mm. If we want change from the Supporters Trust, we have to be likewise active in changing, you know, the leadership of the board.
To get inside of it and vote and be a part of the process, for sure.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I have to say, I mean, with me, and it was actually a conversation with Rez, because I think I went on his channel where we were speaking privately, where I was really bitching about the support. I mean, I think the name is kind of misleading as well, where it's got supporters and trust. You understand what they're doing, but it makes it sound as if they're all for us when they're actually like the go-between kind of thing. And when Rez went into detail of what they're actually there to do, it made a lot of sense. Like I said, I think they take a little bit of the blame, like they should be saying now, do what Liverpool did. And like Rez said, this is where they maybe are falling a bit flat on their face and they could do more. But I got a better understanding of what the trust actually does via talking to Rez. And I'm going to bring this question up to go around the horn that J-Dog has brought up, which is this one. Which, any thoughts on the investors going in for Chelsea foul? Do you think they will make a play for Tottenham with will 3 billion be for Tottenham? Yeah, so basically, do you reckon any of them may say, right, I didn't get this? Do you reckon there could be we didn't get this second option?
No.
No.
And I think, and it's not the price that will do that. I think it's because this deal being facilitated or certainly overseen by the government with the sort of impetus behind it to get it done means that it's an easier deal for investors to do. Levy will not make it a simple process to if they were wanting to sell. Plus, there's the addition that he would want to stay on as chief executive.
I was just going to add to that. Yeah, that's a big issue for
that
any
he
buyer.
will never stand down. I mean, this is what infuriates me about that man: his arrogance, his unremitting idea that he is in any way capable, in any way equipped to run a football club, that he feels that in any deal that purchases this club, he feels that he should stay on. He shouldn't be in position now, let alone if someone else becomes the owner, right? And this also speaks to the some I've gone off subject, but I'll bring it back. This also goes to those people that turn around and say, "Oh no, you can't get rid of Levy. He owns the club." Okay, so if they buy it and he no longer owns it, but he's still the chief executive, what then? Yeah, you don't have to own the fucking thing. Sorry to swear. To be the chief executive, you can hire a chief executive. That is what professional management is for. That is why people go and get MBAs so that one day they can become chief executives of corporations. Yeah, it is a career path. The idea that because he owns it, he has to remain in post is ridiculous, especially given that Lewis owns more of the stock than he does. So if the rule is that the owner has to be the chief executive, then Joe Lewis would be the chief executive, not Daniel Levy.
Yeah, it's just a job title, right?
Yeah,
like just been
so maybe we can put that particular fallacy to rest. Yeah. Back to Chelsea. Levy is not going to be selling on those terms, in my view. Okay, he's not going to be wanting to sort of be the secondary, the sort of consolation prize. And if anyone stumps up for say £3 billion for Chelsea, he's going to know they've got the finances, and he's going to up the price from the £3.5 billion that he said. You know, so no, I don't see us being in any way involved in any kind of takeover as a result of Chelsea's. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to add to that. I think it's absolutely spot on. I would agree. I don't think I could articulate it as well either. So, nice one, guys.
This is why my lawyer.
My mind, man.
Spot on.
Yeah,
you make ask Rez. He's fine. He's got it.
if like Rez says, if anything, Chelsea's valuation has just bumped up Spurs' valuation in Levy's eyes. He'll just look at the stadiums. He'll just compare stadiums. Yeah. He'll do something silly like that. Look at their stadium. Look at our stadium.
Yeah. I mean, Stamford Bridge is a shithole.
Yeah. Well, with Stamford Bridge, when I had my season ticket holder, when I was a season ticket holder from 1994 to 2004.
Stamford Bridge?
No.
You said when I was at Stamford Bridge.
You're cutting me off.
Where's Cody Mack when you need him to clip that stuff?
Well, I didn't know he only clipped him when I mentioned Levy, so that's all golden. That's fine. I think he is in the building, though. I think Cody is in the building.
He is. Yeah.
From 94 to 2004, I was a season ticket holder. My dad let me go everywhere in the country. The one ground he would not let me go to was Stamford Bridge, because back then I was a naive little North London Jewish boy. He's like, Brian, you're going to get your standout, like, and all the trouble that goes on there. He just would never, ever, and I stuck to it. I never went, but I went when I was back this time with. There he goes. He's got me. Cheers, Brian. My partner in crime and my lawyer have just thrown me under the bus. That's fantastic. But it got to the point where I went with Ben and Ashley to the 2-0 first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, and my God, is it, like Rez said, it is a shithole. It is falling down. The acoustics in that place. I mean, I'd like to say the acoustics. It's probably Chelsea fans. You just can't hear a word.
So they call the library.
It was a stadium. I've been to many a stadium. I've been to Barnet. When they played at Underhill. It was more spacious. It was honestly that stadium for the real estate and the area it's in. It really is a horrible, and it's like you look at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and aesthetically, and it's beautiful. It is a beautiful piece of architectural genius. Chelsea is the exact opposite. It's vile. I couldn't stand. I'll never go to Stamford Bridge
Let's
again.
not spend
Never.
Rez's time talking about how shit Chelsea Stadium is.
No, exactly. Right. I mean,
It's kind of taken over a bit.
I went.
But
I went there.
Abramovich will sort these. Oh no, shit.
Oh shit! Yeah. I mean, I went there for the game. I remember we lost 2-1, and Gallas scored in the sort of dying minutes for them.
Screaming.
That's the one that I went to, and it really is. It's a hole. It is so awful on the inside. You come up towards it, and you think, "Oh wow, that's a very nice facade on the outside."
Yeah.
But it's just the facade. Under the surface, a bit like Chelsea, actually. You know, they look good with the trophies they've won, but under the surface, they're scum.
Bunch of mugs.
And that's how the stadium reflects their club identity. And that's the thing about it. You know, we're not gonna see a takeover in those terms. Any takeover that comes for Spurs will be a very long, protracted process. Much of
if we
which
think transfers take a long time, imagine that, Rez.
Yeah, and we won't see it, and that's the thing. We will see very little of it because one thing that I will guarantee you is that Levy will clamp down on any sort of talking, leaking, anything like that. It will be a case of this has to be done in the utmost secrecy. The first that we'll ever hear of a takeover will be in the latter stages of one. But I actually wanted to talk more about Levy while my time is running out, and I've got
1 minute 45, brother.
Unfortunately, I do have to run off to be on someone else's stream, so my apologies to everyone for abandoning you. But this this is just another example of the ethos of the culture of Tottenham Hotspur. The culture at Tottenham Hotspur is we are a corporation. Our customers are just numbers. They're just things on a spreadsheet. We don't care about them. We don't care about whether or not the thing. That's why they've raised food prices twice in the last year, and they're thinking of doing a third time. Okay, when season tickets only make up about 15% of annual revenue, they're treated accordingly. We have to start making noise. Okay, you cannot defend Daniel Levy, for doing this. There is no defense. So my final words are actually to those that still support him. Give me justification for supporting him on this. Let's put everything else aside. Put the stadium aside. Put the training ground aside. Put the the club aside. The status of the club aside. All of that. Put all of that aside, and come to me and give me justification for doing what they have done here. And if you can do that, I will give your position some credence. Yeah. That's my final word.
Spot on.
There
Rez.
you go. You've done that with 10 seconds to go, Rez. It's
Jeez,
like
man.
you've done it. It's like
Got some professional or something here.
I'll tell you what. Final thing for you to do with 3 seconds or just a little bit longer. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Thursday nights on Shelfside Spurs Show on YouTube, hosted by the marvelous Johnny Einstein.
Great show, by the way.
Fantastic. Do please come and like and subscribe. If you want to follow my ramblings, my sort of random and infrequent ones, you can follow me on Twitter at @bat_spur. And just come and follow Shelfside Spurs Show. We'd love to have you, and we'll try and make you laugh.
Sweet. Rez, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Good luck on the other stream. Cheers. Have a good one.
Cheers, Rez. I just want to say to everyone, thanks to Wolves Fee Super Chat, about 150 likes. We're up to 153.
Oh, tattoos on the way.
200 now, 200.
Yeah, 200 now. Any advance on 200? Let's go for the 200. And Tottenham on tour are 20 away from hitting 4,100. So thank you for your support in that, everyone, which is all grateful. And it's time to bring on the next guest, who's been ever so patient and a guy I love, and finally
George,
got to
thanks
meet.
for waiting, brother. Appreciate it.
I got to meet him at my leaving drinks, finally face to face, and can't wait to see him back in June. George, how are you?
You're muted, mate.
Hey, he's on mute. Yes, someone else does it as well.
Sorry, it's because we made you sit there for so long, George. That's why we're,
There you go, George. Your 15 minutes start now, brother. Your 15 minutes start now.
Thanks, Brian. I just wanted to say welcome back as well to Bob. We've never met, but I used to sort of keenly follow you and enjoy watching you. So I'm so glad to see you back, and I hope you get a really speedy recovery from everything.
Thank you, mate. And without this turning into a bit of a love fest, I've always enjoyed you, especially the when the Chelsea thing happened and you came on with Sim. Absolutely brilliant, mate. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
very
very
knowledgeable.
much. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, the tone of your show tonight has sort of been predominantly Mr. Levy. I just really wanted to, I just wanted to ask. I've read the letter from the trust, but I'm not sure what's happened since then. Has the club responded to them and just poo-pooed them, or what's the situation?
Been quiet
Brick
since
wall.
Yep.
Brick
It's
wall.
basically
No
done.
comment.
Yeah, it's done what it's always done, and just like not just pretended that the trust and the fans don't exist.
Yeah, I mean, look, touching on what some have said about the trust, I do echo a lot of what Rez just said about the trust. I remember when the trust was first set up, and I think was it Daniel Wynn who originally was the chair, I think, and there was a lot of activity back then from the trust, but you still got the feeling that without the spending of money on the players, that effectively, what were we arguing about? It was just a very, very simple situation for me. You either pay and get the players and then have success, or you don't. And we've just continued down the path of we just don't. So roll on now from then, and we roll on to the Poch years, and we get the sniff and the inkling of some success. And then our board in their indomitable intelligence decide to sack sort of one of the best things that ever happened to the club in order to get Jose Mourinho in, who I suppose they thought was coming in with a Harry Potter wand and was going to wave it and everything was going to go right. And since then, I think we've taken several steps backward, and it doesn't surprise me in the least that they've accelerated the payment for season tickets. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, I'm gonna pay it, and begrudgingly part with my money, because it's now part of my life, and it's been something that we've been waiting for so long. But I will say this one thing: I still believe that the stadium that we've built, however shiny and wonderful that it looks, and however much it makes the news, I think is turned into a white elephant in the room, and it's a lot of the identity, I think, of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club has been lost as a result of losing White Hart Lane and replacing it with what we've got now. And however wonderful it looks, and however much I was looking forward to getting there and being there, watching us beat Crystal Palace, and the few sort of let's say glory games that we've had, I just can't help but feel we've kind of lost a lot here, and it's going to be a while before we recover it. And I just want to say again, what we're saying here is that adding teeth to the trust in respect of the fan base, unfortunately, it does now fall back on us. We have to give the trust the teeth in order to be united, and that's one thing I think that we haven't been. I use the word united obviously quite loosely in respect of us being together on this one. There does seem to be, or there did seem to be, quite a lot of division, and I just hope now, with Conte being at the helm, and this is partly why I think that he's quite pivotal now, and it's really important that we keep him. Not just the fact that he is an elite manager, but he is a manager at the moment that seems to now have the vast majority of the fans won over, and
he's a unifier, right? He unifies everybody.
Absolutely,
looking at the same direction.
Absolutely. And I think the recent performances have told the story now, and his demeanor, everything seems to have changed, and that he seems to have bought into the club. And I think that my nightmare scenario would now be that we don't get the results. He does feel that this has just been a big mistake, and he walks. I think a lot now rides on Mr. Conte staying a big part of Spurs, and of course the board backing him.
George, I'll ask you what I asked Brad. What would it take for you not to renew your season ticket? Or is there...
First of all, before you answer that, just how long have you had your season ticket for, George?
I've actually not had it that long, but I've had opportunities to have season tickets before, but only as an individual, and I wasn't really willing to just own. Although I don't mind going to. I've bought tickets to games and gone on my own before, and that partly answers goes on to answer Bob as well. I think what it would take for me to not renew would be the guys who I sit with now deciding not to go. If they were if we were all to be going, then I think I would still go sort of week in, week out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
back in the 90s when I was going regularly, we were buying tickets. So literally a game would go on sale and that would be it. We would know the date. I remember 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, the tickets would go on sale and that was it. I would be on my phone at work, literally drumming in the repeat button in order to get my ticket, and you'd be able to buy, I think, up to 6 tickets. So we were all members back then, and that's the way that we rolled. I was quite heavily up the waiting list at that point when we were moving on to Chelsea. To Wembley. Sorry, I just felt a little bit ill there.
Your brain, man.
So yeah, we all got our season tickets, managed to get our season tickets at Wembley, and since then it's just been every season. So yeah, I can't see myself giving it up unless my crowd does as well.
Which is understandable. Like I said, I've said it all along. People work so damn hard, especially after this pandemic and everything, and it's their one thing that they look forward to. Like one team I always talk about with this is Newcastle. If you look at Newcastle and you look at that as a club, the fans up there literally they work to go to Newcastle. That's what they do. They that's what life is for them up there, being a one city club, kind of like what we are here, Brian, with Toronto. It's just like a one team kind of thing, and that whole city is dependent on that club, and everything runs around that club. So you see that with Newcastle, and this is the thing: people work hard to have this, so they dream of having this season ticket and what it represents, and being able to go every single week. And I urge everyone that they should keep it. I mean, you lose it, and like we said before, when these people do go, you're not going to get it back for a very, very long time.
That's a
yeah,
fact.
I mean, look, it's I mean, for me again, it's a little bit bittersweet in respect of the new stadium, because we had the anticipation. That's how I started actually going onto YouTube and trying to find the feeds of what was going on at the stadium, and that's how I got kind of hooked on We Are Tottenham TV, and now I've kind of met Brian, and I've met the Sim and Ben and Brains and everybody in the whole community. And again, I think that's just sort of that's kind of fortified my thoughts of continuing to have the season ticket and continuing with it, I guess. So I mean, really thinking about it broadly, I would say, would I go and sit there on my own as well with my season ticket? I don't know. I'm maybe the sad person that may still do that sort of through thick and thin. But it's look, it is slightly troubling times for me, because of I still get the feeling that we're sort of walking a tightrope here, and so much rides on Conte and getting success back. That it is a bit. I just feel a bit unsettled by it all, and just hope that he really does buy into the whole Tottenham Hotspur experience, if you like, at the moment, with the training ground and with the stadium, and to create an ethos within the club, because it's something that I touched on before. I don't think of the club so much that we have an identity, for example, similar to that of, let's say, Leeds or Liverpool, where the whole backroom staff, from the tea lady all the way up to the top, has that sort of I cut me and I bleed blue and white. I just, because of the sort of corporate structure that we've become, and sort of this cog in the wheel of the whole ENIC structure. I hope I'm wrong in that. I really do. But I think you do need to have that feeling, that sort of DNA, if I can say that. I mean, it's a term that's constantly been thrown around, but that element of DNA running through the club that we can sort of rely on and fall back on. Because I do feel that I think a lot of our identity has been eroded.
It's not an overnight thing, though, is it, George? It's going to take a long time to get that DNA. Pochettino, to an extent, managed to do that when he first came in. You know, we had the fans, the players, you know, the feeling amongst the club. We were all gearing towards the same thing, and we've lost that. Hopefully, Conte can bring it in, but
frustrating
it's going to take a couple of years, which isn't Conte's.
Sorry, Bob, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's the first time we had seen that in the club in ages. To have it, and then to have it taken away so abruptly by Levy again with poor decision making.
Yeah,
really, really difficult to deal with that. And Conte, and you know what he's been able to do at other clubs, and what he could do as a winning manager. Like, not only you get sort of the best of what Pochettino brought, but then you also get a manager that wins everything all the time. And if you can let him do what he can do at a club, it's sort of the next level from Pochettino, then it's absolutely massive. But it's hard to believe that that's what's going to happen with what we've seen from our chairman and our board recently. So yeah, difficult.
Actually, George, how long do you reckon Conte needs to stay here for to get that DNA back?
Just a great question.
Good question, I'd say.
Yeah, that is a great question. I would say I've seen sort of a seed at the moment. I genuinely, I've just felt that there is a seed there. Even when I think people were saying that, he's regretted coming to Tottenham and one thing and another. I've seen the seed of him putting his thumbprint on the team now. And I would say that he's going to need at least a couple of seasons, maybe 3. And again, one of the things that I find unsettling is that he's never done that before. So he's never hung around that long. Or I think maybe the maximum has been 3 years.
That's the biggest word. I think Juventus, he was at 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was there longer.
Was it longer? Was it 4?
Let me check.
He was there for a period of time. I think Juventus was the longest he had been, but that was his first big job, I think, as well. So,
have any of you guys started watching the Amazon Juventus?
No,
I haven't yet. No,
it's very interesting how many comments that you hear saying, "Well, these guys wouldn't have lasted." For example, with Conte, he is still so revered at that seems to be so revered at that club for what he did there.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping, if he can bring 50% of that inspiration to Tottenham, I tell you what, we could transform it into something special. But again, it's a case of what ultimately really led to the downfall of Poch. Was it Poch becoming bigger potentially than Levy was to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, or was it the results? Because the reality, again, I mean, I can't see why you bring in managers like Nuno and expect some sort of transformation. However much we say that, look, Nuno was a stopgap until Conte came along. Okay, I can kind of believe that. I can kind of see that. Mm-hmm. But it seems to me that at the time that Poch was so loved for what he. Okay, there was an element of the fan base that was saying that had rumblings that we need a change or one thing and another. But I think we have managed to get to the Champions League, and again, we look at similar situations to other managers. Being in the FA Cup semi-final against Arsenal back when George Graham was manager, and all of a sudden George Graham gets the sack a week before that match. We get into a final with Jose Mourinho as manager, and against Manchester City, and lo and behold, a week before we end up with Mourinho getting sacked. Is there a fear here that some of these managers, the fear from Levy, a fear from the board, that they will become almost sort of a legendary figure that they will find very difficult to shift, and hence let's do it now when, even at the cost of potentially losing a cup or not getting to a cup final. Because that's where I struggle with ENIC and with Levy. It's not just the lack of investment within the club. It's making crazy decisions like that, which just almost seem nonsensical. Okay, you want to sack Jose Mourinho. You do not sack him a week before a cup final.
It's ridiculous.
You think that's common sense, like?
Yeah.
Okay, so George, I have to say time has just gone, brother.
Okay.
So have your final say. It was great to have you on, mate.
Cheers, George. Yeah, lots of sense.
Any
being
final
spoken.
comment, buddy?
Great.
Yeah, I just want to say great platform, guys, and
Thank you, George.
all of you. Thanks so much for giving us the platform in order to raise our views and to say what we say.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
George.
Brilliant
Thanks, brother.
stuff,
We're
George.
going to get you
Nice to meet you, George.
Come on, you
We'll get
Spurs.
you on Tottenham on tour very, very
Cheers,
soon.
George. Have a good one, mate.
Before we bring on the next guest and make the Tottenham Hotspur on tour, Tottenham on tour quartet 4, I just need to read out a members chat that you can only see on YouTube, which they come out.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm going to go into it a bit because I don't quite understand the first part. I'm going to address the second part. So it's from Arne Anderson, who's been a member for 7 months, who says, "Big up, Bob Spur. So happy to see you up and about. Daigle, sorry, mate, you just don't do it for me. Are you a wolf in sheep's clothing?" And then it goes on about how I leave comments saying how much I love Ben and Sim Nassim. I can't even say the word.
Disingenuous.
Thank you.
Disingenuous.
Listen, mate, I know I can rub some people up the wrong way with me being very, very direct and outspoken, especially on certain topics. But
just to note quickly, the last thing Brian is disingenuous. That's absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said,
Anyway.
I mean, people will know how much I love Ben and Simeon and everyone in the community. If you want to, if people want to know how that word I can't say I am, the man that you have just said, welcome back to seeing back, is my best mate, and he is my best mate that I flew over from Canada to America, to England, to make sure that I was there for him, his partner, his ex, his kids, and anything associated to be there during the time that Bob was ill. I am as straight as they come. I get that I rub people up the wrong way. I can do it, like everyone does. But yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm sorry that I might not be your cup of tea, but that's how it is. But yeah, the best thing is, and all that, is thank you for being a member, and also, of course, the most important thing is seeing is Superman back in the building. So
Speaking of Superman.
And everybody
Do it. Here we go.
I love that, Bob. It's good. How is everyone? It's so good to actually see
Right,
Bob's face again, like side
I
by
know,
side.
right? It's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's
stuff.
It's good,
unbelievable.
it's good. And I'm happy you're here as well, Danny, because there's a caller coming down the line that I know we've got a certain Alex Davies in the queue, so it's going to be fireworks.
Fucking deluded man.
We'll be looking forward to that one. But the next one we've got coming
Can I just say before I carry on?
Of course you can, brother.
A lot of people are giving on a bit of a stick for, not everyone likes everyone.
That's not warranted.
I can only speak from experience and my personal feelings. A lot of people call Brian a brother from another mother. Wrong. He is like a brother to me. But just because we love him, I love him, not everyone else has to love him.
Exactly.
But I don't think just because on doesn't like or hasn't taken to Brian, he deserves 6. So each to their own.
Yeah,
but,
let's avoid the snake
if
in the
anything,
comments generally.
Yeah. If there's one thing Brian's not, is a fake.
Yeah.
And he
Exactly.
was respectful about it.
And yeah, I don't condone anyone saying that. I mean, of course, everyone is entitled to their opinion. It's we're all here. We've got a wonderful community that we worked very hard to build up, and we're proud of that. So yeah, like I said, mate, there's no ill feelings from me, and there shouldn't be from anyone in the group. But yes, so let's go on. So the next guest we got coming on for their 15 minutes of fame is, as Ben would say, KPV.
What's up, Kyle? How you
So
doing again, brother?
your 15 starts now, buddy.
Good to see you back. Hey guys,
What's happening, mate?
How you
what's
doing?
happening? Not a lot, just been chilling.
It's been chilling. Any thoughts on any thoughts on Daniel Levy?
Nah, mate, like I don't know, but I agree with what Brian Daig was said about the season with ticket renewals. Like I'm gonna agree with Brian. Like Daniel Levy ain't getting my money until he gets what we want. Like allow it. I don't like what is said earlier. I don't know why they haven't come back to us yet. Season with ticket renewals this early. He ain't getting money from me or anyone until we have invested. Like how?
It needs to be done, Carl. But also, I mean, there's also Levy. But what? Let's talk about. I mean, you came on yesterday, so we spoke about top 4. What else is your desired subject that you want to talk about? If not just Levy, what else is there you want to talk about?
I don't know what else there is, but probably more. Like I'm still not giving up on the top 4. Like I'm not giving that up. I never will. I'm not giving up top 4. I'd rather Arsenal lose than us because I'd rather we win. Like as I said yesterday, I'd take a draw at Anfield. Like a draw feels like a win. Already taken points off Liverpool already. So yeah, like it's a shame that Wanyama's not there though because scored an absolute weldy. So I expect I don't know Kulusevski or Son to score a weldy there. Kane is actually the top scorer in this fixture. 7 goals. He's actually got 7 against Liverpool. So, may the record continue.
So Carl, are you saying you think we can get a win at Liverpool?
Yes, mate. Because as I said yesterday, we won there under Harry Redknapp, who I think he wasn't the only manager to win there. It was actually Poch at Southampton. So 2 former Spurs managers have only won there. Like they're the only 2. But I just want us to get a win at Anfield since 2011. So then Liverpool fans can just stop saying, "Oh, we don't do well." Well, jog on, boys. Finally win.
Yeah.
Okay,
And yeah, like I don't know, like we got 3 games coming up before that. Like I'm going to the North London derby, and who else is going? Like I'll hopefully see you there.
So I had a ticket for it, Carl, for when it was meant to be, but then we know what happened, and I've still got my ticket, but obviously I'm gonna have to give it back to I think I took Grandpa's ticket or Ben's dad's ticket, but obviously I need to sort out Ben and Simeon to get it back to them. It would have been my first North London derby since 2004, so I'm devastated that I'm not going to it. But yeah, Danny, you'll be there, won't you?
Where's this? Which game is this? The
North London derby.
Oh yeah, of course. As long as I'm not abroad, then yeah, 100%.
It's going to be a decider, isn't it, Carl? North London derby.
Like
it's going that way.
Yeah, we all know what happens before the fans get in the stadium. They always have a little wow with each other, fight and all that. But we all know this is the you know what derby, the Judas derby, Sol Campbell derby, traitor, Vauxhall. I can't stand the guy. No one likes him. No one. Traitor. You said you were going to stay, then you go and join the team that no one liked. Like, do one, mate. I loved what Sim did 2 years ago. Asked him what is his opinion on club loyalty, and
Oh, that was brilliant.
yeah, that was brilliant. And hopefully Ben's got a video from when he pushed the steward in that 4-all draw at the Emirates. I think he said he pushed the steward one time, but this game means everything to the fans, the players, and I hope Toby Alderweireld is watching, because I actually forgot to say that he's won a trophy finally.
Has he?
Yeah, I think that's the 97th player that has left.
Yeah, and yeah, like you mentioned about the other Argentina player, it's Juan Foyth as well, about who plays for Villarreal with Lascelles and Serge Aurier. Villarreal, like, yeah, but big up to everyone, and I just want to wish Vertonghen good luck against Liverpool. Revenge after happening in the Champions League final, but Liverpool probably win that. But this, like, yeah, I just want a trophy next season. I just want the Premier League. Like, we were supposed to win it a few years ago, but yeah, we lost by at least 5 or 6 points. But whatever, I don't care. Like, and the good news is Mike Dean's retiring, so hey, happy days. Time to
Best news,
celebrate.
isn't it, Kyle? It's the
Yeah,
best
he
news,
was
mate.
yeah, he was the referee in the North London derby when we lost 4-2 at the Emirates, and
Oh my god.
I can't stand him. But at least, yeah, congrats on 22 years, but still don't like him, mate. So I don't like any referees, whoever is the referee for this game, but better not be Michael Oliver, because I don't think no one likes him. No other referees, but
He's the new version of Mike Dean.
yeah, new version. But I want a trophy. Like, I don't know why people say a pre-season trophy isn't a trophy, but I don't care. It still is a trophy. We're still gonna finish top 4, and I think I heard that if someone wins the Champions League, then West Ham in the Europa League, then I think we knock them out. If it's that right.
So with this, obviously, we all know. For me, and I think the only Bob's like my age, obviously Brian Island, but with me and Bob, for me, this is not just the big. I mean, they won the league at our ground, and we all know that. I think in Premier League era, this is by far the most important and biggest North London derby for both teams. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, like, but they haven't won at our new stadium. They've not won there. They haven't won at our new ground.
That's
Like,
a good point.
yeah, West Ham were the first team to win there. Like, yeah, Antonio. I don't know what that celebration was, but he always turns up in this game. But glad he didn't. Like, yeah, and he was shocked when Reguilon punched Cresswell in the face. Like, jog on, mate. Zuma should have been sent off kicking the ball at Son. Like, what were you thinking? No one likes Kurt Zuma. Like, should have been sent off anyway. You don't kick the ball at the Korean Messi. That's what he is. And he's just, qualified for the World Cup. So I'll see you in September, sir. And what's the score in the France Ivory Coast game? Anyone check?
I will check for you now, sir. Are they playing right now?
Yeah, I think they start at 8:45. I wonder if France are winning.
Let's have a look for you. Let's have a look. I'm having a look as we speak. France. It's 1-1 at the moment with 85 minutes gone.
Who are the goal scorers? Mbappe's the half? I could be wrong.
Nope. Unbelievably, it's one Arsenal player and one ex-Arsenal player. Pepe had scored for Ivory Coast, and Oliver Giroud made it 1-1 for France. The goals were 3 minutes apart.
That guy scores for fun internationally, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Giroud.
Giroud, yeah.
Giroud. We were after him, 2 seasons ago? We were after him. And, like, Lampard said that he would only sell him to us if they get replacement. But yeah, we couldn't get him in the end.
So underrated. So underrated.
Underrated. Like,
He was brilliant.
Giroud was brilliant. But, like, Quelch, I love the guy. And Defoe, absolute legend of the game. You're welcome anytime to come to the new stadium as a coach. And, yeah, I know there's not going to be a testimonial for him, but can we at least have one for Dawson? We had one for the King. Can we have one for Michael Dawson, please?
We haven't had one for Jan Vertonghen.
I know. Like,
it seems to be a done thing with Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. This testimonial. I can't. Can anyone remember the last actual testimonial we had?
Ledley King, I think, was the last.
And I was there. Yeah, probably wasn't. I was there.
I was like still in primary school, I think.
Yeah, Berbatov, Teddy Sheringham, like, yeah. And can I just say that Teddy Sheringham's actually been nominated for the Premier League Hall of Fame today.
Yeah.
Teddy Sheringham.
Oh, fantastic! I mean, I know Bob is lyrical about Teddy Sheringham. What a player!
Legend, and he loves scoring against Arsenal, like he said. So good choice. He hates Arsenal, and money would never get him to play for them. So good lad, and yeah, would love to see him play, but he's probably retired. But yeah, he's welcome to come. He always comes to the big games, and I'm going to the North London derby. So yeah, but yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. But I haven't been. That'll probably be the first North London derby there, but I've not. The last game I went to was Southampton, and yeah, like we all know how that turned out. Come back for the Saints, but they're not doing great now. They just got battered 4-1 by City in the FA Cup, and like I don't know who I want to win the FA Cup. As long as it's not Chelsea, then I don't care. But I'd rather see or Liverpool won it. But it's Liverpool Man City in the semi-final of the FA Cup. So who's going to win it? I don't know. But yeah, and yeah, if we can win at least 4 or 5 more games, then I think that basically confirms we finished above Arsenal for what, 7th season or 6th, is it?
Say again, Cole?
If we could win our 5 remaining games, I know we've got what? This will be 9, then it will be 8 games left. Like, if we could win those 5 remaining games, and that basically confirms we finished above Arsenal again.
Yeah, and we can keep consistency going, like, and hopefully St. Tottenham's Day or whatever the hell that stupid thing that they call it, can cancel for yet another year.
Yeah, like, no St. Tottenham's Day is what they call it, but like, yeah, I just want Palace to beat them. I know they've got their former captain managing them, who, like, I don't know, always seem to celebrate in these games. But yeah, they've still got to play Man United and Chelsea, Arsenal, though. So yeah,
Arsenal haven't beaten a team in the top 5 this season.
Top 6.
Yeah,
top 6. I think it is.
Top 6. So Man United, Liverpool, us.
Wait,
they're gonna lose at least 2 games.
2, yeah,
at least.
Guaranteed.
They're going to lose to us. Yeah, they're going to lose to us and Chelsea, I think. Yeah, 2 London derbies. So they're going to lose to us anyway because they've got that goalkeeper's been relegated 2 times, Ramsdale, who people seem to think is better than Hugo Lloris. Are you having a laugh? Lloris is a World Cup winner, and we've got a Champions League winner in Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who actually won it with Bayern Munich. So yeah, 2 winners. Ramsdale ain't won nothing yet. Leno, I know he kept a clean sheet in the last game, but I don't know. Ramsdale's the number 1, but Ramsdale will never be England's number 1. It's always Jordan Pickford. Like, I'm excited for the World Cup. Roll on, and hopefully it will come home because no offense to Iggy, sorry mate, but yeah, sorry pal, but it's coming home, and the Euros is probably 2 years after that, but that's coming to us, mate. And Bonucci mocked us when he equalised, and yeah, jog on, pal, you're shit.
Cole, you You have 50 seconds left exactly. So do you have any closing statements?
I do to rival fans like Chelsea, like the point deduction. I don't know when's that going to happen, and yeah, they're going to lose to Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. I know they're going to Madrid first, the first leg, and then they'll be at home in the second. But I just hope Real Madrid can beat Chelsea in the Bernabeu because Chelsea have never won there. So hopefully Bale can put on a masterclass, Benzema, and then West Ham, no top four for you. You lost, and Arsenal can still put back to Woolwich. North London is ours.
Yeah.
Boom! And
Look at that. You
Great
finished
way to end it,
on
Kyle. Great way to end it, Kyle. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Brother. Brilliant.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Carl,
Big
brother.
up.
Speak to you soon, buddy.
Thanks for being here, pal. Have a good one.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come
On
on.
your spot, as always.
Fantastic.
Did you know, right, that Højbjerg's won? He's got quite a lot of titles actually.
Yep.
I didn't know he had any
He's
titles. I
got
didn't even know he
two
played for Bayern Munich.
Bundesligas, 2 DFB
What?
Pokals, 1 Champions League, and 1 FIFA Club World Cup.
Jesus Christ.
There we go. There we go.
That's
Got a
won a lot of
winner.
trophies. Yeah.
Before
class.
we bring on the next guest, which Brian Island will introduce and everything, we've got one super chat in coming from George,
What's up,
which
George?
is always have respect for Brian. And thanks for having me on the stream. And just needed to say, Danny Kyriak.
I just missed George.
Danny Kyriak.
Kyriak Jit.
That's Bob's name for me, Kyriak Jit.
There he is.
Thank you very much indeed, George.
Cheers,
I'll
George.
hand it over to
Love
you,
it.
Island.
Big up, George.
Yeah, ads if you can take that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's. Next guest is Daryl. Dazza. Daryl.
Hey.
Guys, you all right?
AEF,
Man,
You
man.
alright?
How are you, brother?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'm all good, man. Just pissed off with Levy, but there you go.
Tell us about it.
What's new?
Daryl, tell us about it.
You know what? I've gone through so much fucking shit lately because at the end of the day, my dad's, as you know, Brian, my dad's been ill.
Yeah.
He's on the verge of dying. He's been in
Sorry to hear
hospital
about that.
He's
and,
Yeah.
yeah, he's had COVID. He's had COVID twice. He's had a urinary tract infection twice. But where he got COVID, he had the less serious strain of leukemia. But it exaggerated that tenfold, and it spread all over him. And he's losing a lot of weight.
Wow.
And he looks like a ghost now. He looks ridiculous. It's just we're waiting for him to like do the inevitable now. It's sad, but what
Sorry
can
to
you
hear
do?
that, Daryl.
Yeah,
But
sorry to
now
hear that, man.
I've got a reason to let out some fucking steam because Levy has pissed me off big time today.
Let's hear
I'm
it. Let's hear it, man.
serious. I'm serious, man. I'm not even a season ticket holder, but I'm just pissed off all the season ticket holders. Well, how much more can anyone take with this guy? How
Yeah,
much
it's frustrating, isn't it?
Do you know
That's the
what?
biggest problem, though, Does. Not everyone's going to look at it the same way. There are people who are blinded by the shiny new building, by
But
the fact.
they didn't even pay. For
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. But there are the layman fans out there who will. Brian knows I'm as big a Levy out as anyone. But the hardest thing you're going to find within this fan base is everyone singing from the same hymn sheet. It's always been the case, and unfortunately, it will be the case because they do have that backup of a fan. Let's be honest, a fantastic, one of the best, if not the best, stadium in the world. But
Do you know what else he uses? He uses the fans' passion and love for the club.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what he's doing.
The thing is, though, Bob Spur, I mean, it's a great stadium. We've got great training facilities, yeah, but what are we going to sing to the opposition? We've got more seats than you.
We've got more seats than you.
We've got more seats. We've got better training facilities.
Do. We've got more seats than you.
We have Chick King.
That was poor.
We're going
That was
to
poor.
we have Chick King. Great, marvellous, wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the comment from Alan as well, saying I think Levy's in charge of the gas as well. I wouldn't put it past him, like to have
He's
some
in charge
stake
of
in it.
everything.
Well,
He's
Levy
in charge
talks
of
out of his
everything.
arse, but that's probably where the gas comes from.
I have to say as well, Daryl. I have to say, well, you're getting a lot of love from the people in the chat regarding your dad.
Cheers, man.
We'll bring them up. We'll bring a few of them up. There's a few above them as well. But yeah, apparently France have just scored as well.
Laney's with us as well. What's up, Elaine? How are you?
Big up, Elaine.
Elaine. My man is here. Oh god.
So carry on, Daryl. Have your 15 minutes.
I'm just pissed off, mate. I'm just really fucked off, Bryce. It's ridiculous. What more can you say about this man? He's fucked us up with the Super League. He don't spend on players. And everyone says, oh, it's all down to Joe Lewis. No, Daniel Levy is the fucking figurehead of the club. Joe Lewis doesn't care what Levy spends. Joe Lewis doesn't give one iota of a shit. He's out there in the fucking Bahamas on this 1,050 yachts, not giving a fuck. As long as Daniel Levy don't have a fucking, brain fart and spends like $1 billion a year, he's loving it. You know what I mean?
So do you know what, Daryl? I'm going to ask you. I'm going to go around the horn. There's a question here, and I'll answer it last. But we'll go down the bottom and then up to Adam and across. But I'll go last, Island. From Kelvin, would you let Conte walk if it meant new owners?
Oh God, that's an awful question.
This is a great question, Kelvin. Thanks for bringing it up. What would you, Daryl? You'll go first.
What a question, though.
If it was guaranteed, you could approach it in different ways, couldn't you? Because at the end of the day, if we got new owners, how do we know they're not going to be bastards like this lot?
Exactly.
Could be worse.
Yeah, exactly. We could have Doug Ellis back. You know what I mean?
I think he's dead, so that might be a bit of a big one.
Well, all right, it's reincarnation then. We could have like his regen from FIFA. You know what I mean? When a player retires, you get the names up to their plans.
Keep Steph Blatter away from us, lads.
It'd be like that. Harry Kane, when he retires, becomes Percy Sumner at 15 or something. You know what I mean? Something stupid like that. No, if there was a guarantee that the owners would fucking spend money, you'd have to think about it, wouldn't you? You'd have to, even though it's Conte, you'd still have to think about it. Because what can Conte get out of 50p and a fucking chew it as a budget every year? Well, I mean, what can he do? There's only even God couldn't get a tune out of that. You know what I mean? With that budget, you know, it's ridiculous.
Quality.
It's like fucking Expression said it better, didn't he? Champagne football and a lemonade budget.
Expressions does come out with some the comedy of that man, and it's
oh my god! You remind me about Expressions. He was doing one of his vlogs. I think it was May United when Lukaku was playing for United, and he was sat next to Anna XY. What's her name?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
XY.
Yeah, Anna XY.
And he was saying, because there was the old fucking thing about Lukaku being better than Kane and that, and he turned around and said, "Don't give me Lukaku's better than Kane. Kane's got better control. Lukaku can't even control his kids." I'm like, has he got kids? I
don't know, actually. That's a good point. But anyway.
Nah, but if Conte was to leave and we got better owners, you'd have to think about it, really. Because if we can't have Conte continuing if he's only going to get like 50p in a fucking roof rack for a fork Ronaldo.
I think you have to guarantee it, right? Like you have to
guarantee.
You have to guarantee that the new owners are going to spend, and they're going to do the things we all want them to. Otherwise, it's fucking pointless, isn't it?
Mark Cousins popping up, going, "I love you, get Abramovich."
That would be all right. Danny, let's go yes or no.
Spursy.
That would be Danny. What would your answer be? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
What if we got new owners?
Yeah.
If Conte walks.
Conte are new owners.
Yeah. You'd have to say if it's guaranteed of spending, yeah, I would do it. I would.
Yeah, I'm on that. I'll be honest.
Longevity. If we get new owners in, they're going to be here for the long haul. Whereas Conte's only going to be around for a couple of years. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
If it means getting the new owners in, and they are going to spend and take us to the next level, then yeah, Conte can go.
Yeah, that's true, Bob Spur, because he's never been around at a club more than 2 years or so, has he?
No,
good show.
Never.
And Brian, you were right. It was 3 years at Juventus. And my bad, you were right. It was 3 years. Yeah. Adam, yes or no?
Who said did you make me smile? I'm getting a fan club here. I'm going to start going fantastic in the afternoon. So
Dad, I'm not going to have breath to speak if you keep coming out with these mad jokes. Like.
Oh, they're the best though. Let Daryl go.
Dad's got to come on. Dad's got to come on tomorrow's show, mate.
You can take my place.
I'll come on whenever you want, mate. I mean, you know, I've had a bit of a bad run the last few weeks with everything going on, but I'm right.
I can relate to that. At the
end of the day, this is therapy for me. Talking with guys that fucking hate Levy.
Therapy for all of us.
So there you go.
So we'll let you know. Obviously, Brian Ireland will know Bob, I'm sure you'll know, Daniel and Adam, I think you might know. Daryl is a admin with Elaine and a few others on a great Facebook page. What's the Facebook page, Daryl? Again,
Tottenham Hotspur FC, and in brackets or Dairy Cherry.
So that is
or whatever you want to fucking call it.
It's got 16 or 17,000 members on it.
It's a great group.
It's a great group.
If you're not a member, get on there.
Daryl won't mind me saying this. I was actually blocked years ago because I was leaving out and he was leaving in. But then he flipped. But this is when people heard that we were doing a partnership and we were going to do a show every Monday, first Monday of the month, with a Facebook group. It's Daryl's group, which we've been talking. We're going to restart again on Tottenham on Tour.
I remember the reaction. That everyone made saying, "But Daryl's leaving you. How's that going to work?"
Yeah.
Daryl, can I ask you a question, mate? What made you change it from Levy in to Levy out? What actually made you change?
Pochettino, no signings. I thought that was enough. I thought, I sat with him through the old stadium building process. I thought, right, okay, I'll trust him on this, even though in the back of my mind I thought, no, he's a bastard. But I thought, I'll trust him on this. Get the building up and running, get the stadium, get the fan in. And after Pochettino was given nothing for 3 successive windows, I thought, you know what, that's enough. That has done me. I thought, there's no excuse why you can't fucking sign a couple of players for squad depth even if they're a few million each, the players. Just get them in for depth, because Poch had nothing. Poch's success came in spite of Levy.
Yeah, punched above his weight for sure.
In spite of Levy.
Yeah.
He had to stretch that squad out like Icar elastic, and it was ridiculous.
He did.
It was ridiculous. Right. We had one of the smallest squads in the league.
We did, and we had the youngest squad in the league for 3 years as well.
Yeah,
exactly. And how can we cope with that? Not even an out-and-out striker, like relying on Dane Scarlett, who's a puppy, really.
Yeah, 17 years old, right?
He's got don't get me wrong, he's got a bloody good future. I think he will be a class striker, but not yet.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Can't be relying on that as our backup. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Other players like Wayne Rooney develop harder. Because that's just them. They've got that talent. But
different time too, isn't it?
Development.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they're just being, I'm talking about Scarlett and White just being on the subs bench, but just being there literally to fill up the numbers because they never get any game time.
No,
100%. Yeah.
I mean, if you've actually noticed when we're struggling for goals, like going 1-0 down, we need a striker on. We never bring Scarlett on. We always bring another attacking midfielder on, like a Bergwijn or a Lucas or whatever. Mm-hmm. We never bring that natural out striker on, which Scarlett is, because he ain't ready. He's not ready.
Yeah, of course he isn't.
No, yeah, he only brings them on when it's like.
There's a difference between being eager and being ready.
Yeah,
they all must win games. I don't want a 17-year-old to come on in a game that we need to win and potentially not destroy his confidence, but certainly make an effect on his confidence if we don't get that win or that result that we need. It's
a lot of pressure for a 17-year-old.
I said this right from the last transfer window. We need a backup striker. We need him on for 7 years, really. But
exactly, Bob Spur. Even if it was Carlos Vinicius, bring him back, whatever.
I would have had him for another season on loan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He scored 12 goals and 13 goals in all competitions? Those were goals we needed.
But he still had to put it in, didn't he? He still had to score the goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what
no
the biggest
one
thing
else was doing it.
Yeah.
Daz, do you know what the biggest
thing
Llorente
did it for us.
The biggest thing was giving Kane a rest in those games that he didn't need to play. And it kept him fresh to play at those top level for the whole season.
Exactly.
That's what it was. It wasn't even. It was a good enough replacement, to actually go and score goals. He scored goals against the small teams in the Europa League,
which is what he's supposed to do.
Which is what he's supposed to do. Yeah. But when it came to giving him a rest, you could see the difference it was for Kane. It actually gave him time. You saw Kane wanted to play, but it was the best thing for him, for his fitness.
They played well together as well.
Yeah,
I was just about to bring that comment up. Ellie's won
a comment from Ellie.
Get new owners in, hire Conte. But also,
that's a bloody good idea.
That's the best answer yet.
A question for you from your bestie. A good question from your bestie, Elaine, which are, what are your thoughts on Troy Parrott wanting to come back? Because apparently he's now doing bits wherever he is.
It's a brilliant idea. I think he's ready. I actually think he's ready. We're not going to know if he's actually ready until we actually play him. But I've got this feeling, if you put him in now or next season, he'll be ready for it.
Yeah, I saw a good interview with him, or a good quote from him from an interview where he basically stated, I recognize that my head wasn't where it needed to be at the top level, and I've changed my attitude. I'm not doing the things I was doing, like going out with his lads and shit.
He's not. Savvy, I'm sorry, he's not Mole's head of parrot at all.
I have to agree with Savvy, but the thing I want to chuck into the mix in your final 1 minute, the 1 minute 30 we've got. Do you know what? With Parrot coming back and Scarlett there, this is why I think it is imperative that right now we are on the phone to Jermaine Defoe and say, come back and coach these youngsters.
Yeah,
because they're the same build, they're the same kind of physique, and if he can coach, if there's a striker that these two could really, really learn from style of play and absolutely everything, from their build, their physique.
Well. Yeah, exactly, Brian. Especially if we ain't going to get another striker.
Yeah, well, that's where we go wrong. Even if Troy Parrott's ready, we need a striker.
Yeah,
correct. We need a striker,
because Bob spoke. It gives Conte more room to go with two up front. Without worrying about any
depth in a position we desperately needed it and have done for
get a Martinez in. Yeah. Get people going, oh, why do you keep on going on about Brentford striker? What's his name again?
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Tony. Yeah, why do you keep on going about Tony? He's like Kane. So what? We need two quality strikers. Of course, we've had four quality strikers.
How is that a bad thing?
I'd agree with Brian about Defoe coming in as a striker coach to look after.
Oh, be nice to see that for sure. But I agree with Bobby that we need to do both.
No? We need another world class striker on top of them.
Yeah.
Don't lower these strikers out. Don't lower them out. Keep them within the squad.
That's the time. And also, just to let you know, Mark, I have just invited you into the group. So, Daryl, you're going to get, or Elaine, you're going to get an invite from Mark Cousins. I've just invited him to join the group. Just before we let you go, tell everyone the group again, because you've got a lot of love in the chat.
Tottenham Hotspur FC, and in brackets afterwards, it's all Darius for Cherry. It's the group with the cover picture.
I'll show the cover picture, Daryl. I'll show the cover picture. One second. Let me get it up. So that's the cover picture right now, the Yid Army flag with the Israeli flag. That is already there. So, and also, Mark, you've been accepted by Stephen. And I will say, just in closing before we let you go, Daryl, obviously, everyone has loved seeing you. We all wish you dad a speedy recovery or a comfortable time. And people will be seeing a lot more of Daryl, Elaine, and of this great Facebook group, and join it if you can, because we will be doing a regular show with them again. Me and Brian have got to talk to Elaine and Daryl and get it up and running again. But expect to see a lot more from Daryl.
Yeah. Bloody hilarious. Cheers, Daryl.
I've loved meeting all you guys tonight. It's been a brilliant show, so I'm going to keep on watching. Thank you ever so much.
Cheers, Daryl. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, man.
See you later, man.
See you later.
You're brilliant.
See you later. So we're down to the final two. We got three guests.
Yeah,
we got three. So we got Michael, then we got fireworks with Alex. The fireworks will be lit. Get your popcorn ready.
Get your sunglasses ready for that smile, because he's going to hurt.
Yeah, the best smile on YouTube.
Get ready for delusion, people.
Let's not hurt
Save it.
And then we've got Mikey, and it's going to be brilliant to get Mikey on, because he was meant to be first on, and then I don't know if he had an internet problem or something happened in the show yesterday that we didn't get him on. So we're definitely getting him on.
All right, well, let's bring on Michael now.
Bring on Michael now. Michael, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Michael?
Yes, hello, lads. I'm fine. Just because I've been listening, of course, to what you guys had to say, and it's really hard for me to relate to all that season ticket talk and all that Levy talk, because, some of you may know I'm not from Great Britain, and I've actually been to a football match once in my life, like a big time football match, and it was a friendly between Poland and Denmark here in Poland. But I just wanted to say, whatever happens, don't let don't let that bolt fuck you over. Like seriously.
Hey, there's a bunch of bald fucks here. Man. Don't
Yeah,
get nasty
I
with
know
me.
that one.
Nothing personal, of course. My dad is bolt of too, so you know,
I love
it would
you,
be kind
Dad.
of
Love you, Dad.
hypocritical
Big up, Dad.
from me to
So,
stay
Michael,
bold
it's your
people,
15 minutes. You can talk about it. Doesn't have to be Levy or ticket orientated.
Yes,
What do
yes.
you
Whatever
want to
you
talk about,
want, yeah,
buddy?
man.
Yes. So what I wanted to say mainly is that you know, I'm basically a Spurs fan since that final and since that Champions League run that we had in 18-19.
Yep.
And you know, right now it's probably like the happiest I've been following Tottenham. I mean, in terms of footballing wise, in terms of what I see on the pitch, because you know, after that CL run, the squad dipped under Poch. Then he got the sack. Then Mourinho came, and even though the play was, I mean, the scores were good, and we were getting some points. You know, the football wasn't really that pleasant to watch, at least compared to what was going on for a couple of previous years. Then was that whole Mourinho sacking, then was Mason, then bloody Nuno, and I seriously considered taking a break, even though uh, I I'm kind of resilient to like getting down because of a football match, even though I seriously struggled. And then you know Conte came, and I actually really enjoy watching us now. I really enjoy like the football that we played, our squad, the personalities, and no, that's the main message I wanted to bring up is that I'm just happy right now, and I'm really happy that we have something to fight for, even though those are not trophies. Because of course, I want us to win trophies, but it comes later, I believe. And right now, I think that I'm really happy because I expected nothing from this season. Like literally, before this season started, I was like, maybe we will get seventh again, maybe. And I was really doubtful about that. And the fact that we can even fight for Champions League is wonderful for me.
I think Michael, you've compressed mine and Brian's and quite a few of us as years and years of experience supporting Spurs. You've compressed it in like 2 or 3 years. So you've had the highs of the 2019, then you've seen the dip in 20 and 21, and now you're seeing a bit of hope again in 22 under Conte.
Welcome to being a Spurs fan, mate.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So you've kind of experienced what we've experienced, so we've just elongated it a bit.
Yeah, just over a lot
we
more
just
years.
seen it for like 30 years or so.
Yeah, that win-loss thing that's happened this season is basically being a Spurs fan.
That's
basically it. It frames
and that's why we're bald.
Yeah. Oh, that stress, right?
I just have good genes, fortunately.
And talking of bald, I have to say, Cody keeps asking why Pep Guardiola is in the bottom right.
So let me I've not spoken about Harry Kane, so I'm not Pep.
Oh, yes. Too true, man.
Quality.
But, guys, too, about the future, even though like we might get Champions League, we might not, but I'm like seriously excited about this summer. I'm seriously excited about the next season. I don't know if you guys share the feelings, because I know that it might be different if you if you are a regular match goer and you see the team live, you feel the atmosphere in the stadium, etc., etc. But for me as a fan from abroad, like I'm really hopeful that I can get to England to witness the team playing myself during the next season. And like I'm really excited. I don't know, I have this feeling deep inside me that something positive will happen if of course the summer goes well. And I'm also kind of positive about the summer too.
I love these new Spurs fans, guys. It's just
just
bringing everybody up,
Yeah, I fully realize I might be deluded to some of like
we're Spurs
fans.
Delusions part and parcel of it. Now.
Yeah, we're happy. We're happy anyway, which is the reason why that mug is still in charge.
Yeah, I might be deluded by, but I just feel like that there is something cooking there, and I hope that the Don Paratici is cooking something spicy for the summer. And I also wanted to comment on one thing, because I think, Bob, you were saying about bringing Martinez into the team. I personally feel like if we want to get a backup striker, we shouldn't aim that high. And I had the same feeling when people were talking about bringing Blachowicz in during the January transfer window. So my thoughts on this were, I wasn't really sure if we should waste 70 millions of our budget on one signing. I feel like we are in such a position that we have to aim lower in terms of budget. We have to buy maximum of 30-40 millions per player. So I feel like there are better options for us than Martinez or someone of his profile. For example,
what Conte wants him, Michael?
Yeah, well, that's the hard part, right? I mean, for me, it goes like this: whoever Conte wants, the club should try and get, and that guy exactly, not someone else, not someone of the similar profile.
Yeah.
That guy exactly, no matter his age, no matter his wages. Well, wages, of course. I don't want them to waste 800k a week on a player or something ridiculous like that. But they should prioritize his vision. But I also feel like Conte isn't the type of person to go and buy a player for 100 million pounds. I don't know, because I think he brought Lukaku to Inter, but I don't know if that transfer was that high as what Chelsea paid for him to bring him back to England. I feel like the transfer fee was way lower, right? But that doesn't matter. That there are plenty of young, hungry strikers that it would suit them to play a second fiddle to Harry Kane. I feel like just for example, the Brentford striker or Watford strikers, or a striker from Sassuolo. His name is Gianluca Scamacca, I think. He's a rising talent.
Yeah,
I feel like if we are going for a Lewandowski, right? Yeah, I just feel like in terms of striker, we should go a bit lower. But where I want our club to splash the cash is defense. I really want them to splash the cash on left center back and right wing back. I'm just really hoping that we actually find a player that suits Conte's style.
Michael, do you have any players that you'd like to see in that right back position? Because it is it's a controversial one with Doherty coming in and not stepping up, and Royale not being good enough. Who do you see?
So in terms of a young talent, because I know that we'll probably try to bring one, it's the DJ Spence from Nottingham Forest. I guess he's in Middlesbrough right now. No, he's a Borough player, but loaned to Nottingham Forest, right? I think it goes this way. I've heard a lot of praise about him, but in terms of quality player that has some experience, there is this guy called Joachim Meile. He's a Danish player, and he's currently in Atalanta, I think.
Yeah, Italy.
Yeah, he plays for Italy in Atalanta, and he has a lot of experience. He's quality. And I think that's the type of player that we should focus on. And in terms of left center back, I'm in love with Pau Torres. He's just perfect for me. He would suit perfectly. I know also that he rejected us once already because we tried to acquire him in the previous summer, but he said that he won't come to a club that doesn't play Champions League football. But there is hope for it this summer.
Mike, a question for you, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Are there any up and coming Polish players that you could think that could slot into the right now, or even a Polish player? Not even obviously not Lewandowski, but are there any Polish players you would? Yeah. Okay. Do you see any up and coming Polish players or players currently in the Polish national team that could do a job for Tottenham in the positions we need?
Please say yes.
So basically the problem with Polish footballing system is that it's dog shit. Like, you know, we are. I'm sorry.
Doomed, lads.
Patriotism there.
Yeah, but you know, how can I be a patriotic guy when we are? It's a 40 million people country, right? And our league is 30th in Europe. Like it's bloody ridiculous. Like Czech league is higher, Danish is higher, Swedish is higher. You know, all those leagues are better than ours, and you know, it's really pathetic that we call in Poland football our national national sport, because we are, frankly speaking, awful at it. And you know, all that players that play in Polish national team go abroad young and are developed there. So you know, there is a couple of good Polish players, even some experienced ones, and I'm not sure if you know, if they are gettable, because there is, like, I don't know, Piotr Zieliński, he plays for Napoli. There is a lot of, by the way, Polish players play in Italy. I don't know why, but it's like a destiny for Polish talents. They go straight to Italy. But you know, there is like Piotr Zieliński, I guess Arkadiusz Milik, he plays for Marsilia right now, although he's injury prone and they just signed him, so it would be hard to get him. You know, Jakub Moder, who plays for Brighton, I think that he's a prime talent, but you know, those all are positions that I'm not sure that we need, even though Arkadiusz Milik is a striker. But as I said, he would be hard to get just because he changed clubs recently. And I think Zieliński is, I'm not sure, but he's captain of Napoli, or at least a vice captain, so it would be really hard to get him just on that merit. But you know, as I said, there is like a couple maybe rising talents, but I'm not sure if they are at our standard. You know, I doubt our club would want them, and especially I doubt Conte would want them, because you know, experienced Polish players are not good enough, and Conte really doesn't develop players. So I guess, at least from our country, not really.
And actually, I have a question from Abdul Karim here in the chat. This is an interesting
It's a
one.
great question.
Yeah, he says, weren't Arsenal the highest spenders last summer and they didn't have Champions League football? Could Spurs do the same thing and spend big without top four? How crucial is top four really? Let's discuss it. So you are the man, lads. Let's talk about this. No, I won't answer. I frankly have no answer. I don't know.
Yeah, so as far as I remember, they spent like 150 million, something ridiculous like that. So you know, I was watching some other podcasts too, and I think it was on DR Sports, and they said that judging on how much money Arsenal have spent, they should be fighting for top four, or even more, they should have that top four secured by now, because considering that us and United aren't really performing to high standard this season. And I feel like with the quality that we have in our team, in Romero, Højbjerg, Son, Kane, Kulusevski, Lloris, and a couple of other players, Skip, Bentancur, if we spend similar amounts of money, I think that top four is ours guaranteed. I feel like, you know, with the way Conte, with what I see from Conte, and how he teaches our players his system, and how after only those four months, I think, how ingrained it seems in their brains, how ingrained it is. I feel like if we spend similar, I think top four would be guaranteed. I would even consider saying that we could fight for something more than top four. I'm not saying, of course, I'm not saying that we would win the league, because we are miles off City at Liverpool right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But we could at least like challenge them maybe to some point of the season, and you know, then we would probably be taken back by some Spursiness, right? but I feel like if we spend similar money, we are right there, and we would be in the driving seat. And then it's also a nice test for our players' mentality, right? Yeah, and my time is up.
You heard the time of Mikey. Mikey,
crushed it, Michael. That was fantastic, man.
It was. I think it's the first time I've been on with you. Actually, I've seen you in the chat and seen you on the street. I think it's the first time I've actually been on the screen with you. So it's been great speaking with you.
Definitely have to get you on our channel at some point, mate. If you
I just have one quick story time, one really quick story time. So I've started following
story time with Michael.
Yeah, story time with Michael. So basically, I started following Ben and Sim's channel when Conte was getting appointed, right about that time. And I started like watching the call-ins, and then came this one guy called Brian Daigle, and he told a story about Bob and what happened to him. And of course, I didn't know who Bob was back then, but I know now, and I'm really happy that I could actually talk with you, Bob. I'm really happy that you are well, and I know that COVID is a bitch. I had it twice already. Of course, not to the level that you had, but I'm really happy that you are well. I'm really happy that all of you guys are well, and I hope that we have a chance to chat soon. And I really hope that I make it to England next year, and maybe we could talk in person then. So
definitely.
I thought you were going to mention my tattoo then. When you start talking Conte, that's where it was going. But yeah, Michael, it's been a pleasure, my man, and have a great weekend.
Brilliant.
Likewise.
Take care, Michael.
Okay,
I'm just going to go off for 2 minutes and I'll be back on. All right, guys.
Before you go, just got a super chat here for you, Bob, very quickly. That just said, big up, Bob Spur. You've made my day to see you energized.
Big up first.
So there you go. You go for your 2 minutes. We'll see you back in a second. We're going to bring Alex on. I'm going to start the timer. Then I really need to go to the bathroom, so I'll be back. So let's bring on Alex. First of all, brother, always a pleasure, my man. Your
Welcome.
15 minutes is going to start. Ready?
Well, I won't really take too long anyway, to be honest with you.
Every time, Alex. I knew
I'm not going to take too long. It's going to be short and sweet anyway, to be honest with you. Straight, I'm just going to go. Hello, Brian, Adam.
What's up,
Bob?
Alex?
I think he's gone away. And deluded. Danny, how you doing? Anyway, getting straight into it. Just need to move on. Just need to get onto this subject about Bell. Honestly, why are we going on about Bell for? We need to move on.
Who's going on about Bell?
We need to move on. We absolutely need to move on. Since he scored 2 goals in Worlds, everybody's now starting getting nostalgic, and everybody wants Bell back all of a sudden. For goodness sake, he did nothing last season.
Just to
he
say,
didn't do
Alex,
nothing in anything last season
quickly,
at all.
can I interrupt you quickly because I know you want to go on a rant quickly? In this case, we only said it if Conte wants Bale, then we'd take him back.
Well, if Conte wants Bale,
it's not about Bale specifically.
Well,
it's like we want
Conte
the
wants
manager.
Bale. It's a bit silly to get Bale anyway because it's
well, then,
silly.
Then Conte won't do it because he's not silly.
It's the most silliest thing ever to hear about it anyway. What's the point of getting Bale in anyway?
It's silly hearing you say this about Bale.
We need to move on. He's outgrown our team like Harry Kane's outgrown our team. That's it. We need to move on. That's it. Simple as that. He has outgrown our team. He's absolutely outgrown our team.
What did I tell you, Brian? Deluded, mate.
I've just hit a video just showing that, by the way. So if you want to hit me on that on my channel, you can see it there because the proof is already in the print anyway. You know what I mean?
15 minutes, Alex. Why don't you tell us in 15 minutes?
Anyway, like I said, but like I said, we have to stop this thing about Bell. We have to move on. But looking at it from afar, it was okay. It was okay against West Ham. Like there was chances that West Ham had. I mean, ironically,
what chances? They had one good.
They did have one. They had a couple of chances in the game. Antonio had a chance when Kane made a miss pass and he scored. They scored from the corner as well, and they also nearly scored from Antonio as well when he booted it up above as well. At the end of the day, we were okay. You know what I mean? I think we're going over the top. I mean, I'll still say Højbjerg's absolutely average. I've got to be honest. I think he's still like Winks, to be honest. You can't tell the difference because he still makes passes to Kane. Like he still makes passes to Kane like Winks does. It's just that Winks can play the free. He can play in the 2. So I'm sorry, I don't know what everybody's going on about, banging on about. It's just everybody goes on about him like he's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm sorry, again, he's average. He's absolutely average. And even like I say, I mean, give props to our back 3, by the way. Romero needs to be careful about being sent off. I've got to be honest. Yes, he does. He has to be. I've got to be honest. But this whole thing, and this is the thing I need to say, we need to stop going on about Kane. We need to stop banging on about Kane. This is why we can't get a striker in, by the way. This is exactly why we can't get a striker in. Because who do we bang on about? Who do we bang on about? Kane. Who do we bang on about last summer? Kane. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's the fact. No one wants to come to Tottenham because we keep on banging about Kane. And they know they're not going to get in the team.
Let's sell the
What is
why,
Bergwijn doing at the moment? What is Bergwijn doing at the moment?
Yeah, Alex, I agree. Let's sell the best striker in the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry, but the thing
sense.
is that we are Kane FC still. We are literally Kane FC. Look at who scores goals in that before, by the way. Danny, by the way, because you seem so
last season,
on the money
goals.
About saying that Kane's not going to go. Who scores goals in that
last
midfield?
Season, 17 goals, Alex.
No one. The next goal scorer after Son. The next goal scorer after Son is own goals. That just sums up Tottenham at the moment. Okay, that just sums up Tottenham.
It is what it is.
We start talking about top 4.
It is what it is, Alex.
We think we're top 3 as well.
Alex,
we're not even getting 70 points doing that, bro. You having a laugh?
It is what it is. It is what it is, mate.
Oh yeah. So it's a joke to even talk about the top 4.
This is the situation we're in right now. But this is the situation we're in right now.
So I don't even know why we're going on like this. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm not having it.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's 20.
Exactly,
hold on, Brian. Let me speak to Alex for a second. Hold on. I don't give a fuck, Alex. Right? If this is 20 own goals, if we're winning a match, we're winning a match. I don't care where the fucking goal comes from.
Mr. talking again.
Who cares where the goal? Yeah, but if we go win every game right with own goals, you're not going to be happy with that. Are you serious? You're not going to be happy with that.
Here we go.
I'm asking you a question. Are you serious?
Listen, I'm sorry. We have to be reality.
If we win every single game,
in the building right now because he needs to talk some sense into some people at the moment. Let's go here. Let's go.
Alex, what sense have you spoken since you've come on?
We are behind the Arsenal type side that is absolutely average at the moment. Yeah, that's the reason why we're near there, because Arsenal are absolutely average. Yeah, they might get top 4, but the fact is they're going to be embarrassing in the Champions League next season. You know what I mean? So simple as that. You know what I mean? So I'm not really worried about them. The fact is, West Ham, right, are in the Europa League quarterfinals at the moment. Yeah, we're screaming and shouting because we beat them. Yeah, they got tired. They literally got tired. And if they get the Europa League, win the Europa League, they've had a better season than Tottenham this season. Okay,
what is your point? Who gives a shit about West Ham?
Well, you will give a damn when they get when you're playing in the Champions League, mate. You will give a damn.
We're better.
You will give a damn. You will give a damn when they win the Champions League. When they win the Europa League,
that they're going to win the Europa League. You've made that assumption. Like, that's ridiculous. That's absurd. If you're talking about absurd things, you've come on here and said a bunch of absurd
comment from Darren Smith, please.
Literally beat the holders. So at the end of the day, they've got a chance. So let's not go there.
How is that relevant,
Adam? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Alex, I want you to address this, right? Because this is a good point, what Darren Smith has made. Because own goals, right, means we're actually getting dangerous cross into areas and we're forcing the error. That's where own goals come from. An own goal comes from a forced error. That's exactly what an own goal is. So what that's telling us is that we're actually putting chances into the box, right? We're making it dangerous for oppositions, and because of that, we're causing the problem, and that we're causing an own goal. That is why we're getting own goals. If we weren't putting him into dangerous positions, we wouldn't be having the own goal chances and wouldn't be having so many own goals. That just tells me that we're playing good football. And we're creating chances. Right?
We're okay, Danny. We're okay. We're not
playing great. We're not playing great the whole game.
Brilliant football.
No, but we're playing.
Still focused on
I never said we're playing brilliant football. I said we're playing great.
Who said that?
I never said that. See, you're putting words into my mouth.
Danny, I just want to address one thing, then I'll let the Jeremy Cole show continue. I just want to say, listen, like we said before, with whatever, I know Alex personally, and I've met him loads. I can guarantee you, he is not a closet gooner. He is just a very passionate.
He's a lovely guy. He's just really wrong about a lot of things.
Honestly,
don't defend the deluded man, Brian. He's a deluded man.
Let him defend himself.
All I will say this, because I don't want to stay too long in here, because the thing is, I've said everything on my channel.
You could be here for hours. Stop saying that.
Anybody that has a go at Brian, they're a joke. I'm sorry. This guy, this man is the most dedicated guy I've ever met in my life. I don't agree with him about certain things, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And also, I need to put this in perspective, because the caller beforehand, there is reality. There's absolute reality here. There's football and there's reality. And what the caller, the two callers beforehand about his dad, I don't want to mention too much on it because that's his personal situation. That's reality. You know what I mean? That's reality, that we need to put things in perspective. So I have to say that when I'm talking like this about football, this is football I'm talking about here. So, you know what I mean? But all I need to say about Brian is Brian's a dedicated guy and he's a decent guy. So Brian, you shouldn't really care what anybody thinks about you
I
because you're a
don't.
decent person, and you know the things that you're a decent person that's dedicated to people in the fan base, and you're a decent person. So I have to say that. and I'm going to defend him all day long. So he's the nicest guy I've ever met, face to face. You know what I mean? Even Bob as well. But we're going to do that privately. I'm not going to get into it here. This is football I'm talking about here. That's it. I'm going to leave it there, and that's it. But just to get back on the subject, like I said.
What subject, Alex? What are we talking about?
He said Kane should leave. Bale was shit. Our team is shit, and we're just shit.
Yeah, like I said before. It's like, as I said before, we need to stop worrying about Kane. We need to start planning without Kane or with Kane, without Conte or without Conte.
You can't plan for both, Alex.
The fact is, okay, Conte's going to leave anyway. He will leave. The main thing is that we need to take the foundations that Conte is teaching us at the moment, because he's coming into Tottenham, by the way, and he's looked at it and thought, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? You having a laugh? Are you actually having a laugh? You think you're going to win trophies like this? No, you're not. You're not going to win trophies like this. You're not. You're not going to win. You're not going to win championships, and Kane's not going to stay for a Carabao Cup. You're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. No, it's not. Even top four. You think top four's going to make him better? Make him persuade him to stay? No.
God, I've missed you, Alex.
No. Absolutely not. You know what I mean?
Alex, Bob, can I ask you a question, Bob? What do you think of Alex's opinion about thinking about getting rid of Kane, the best striker in the world?
If we want, depends where the ambition lies. If we want to be a good team, if we want to be a better team, if we want to be a team that goes to the next level, we're not going to do that without Harry Kane, because he's one of the best strikers in the world. If there is a justification for selling Kane, which means that every single penny that we get for Harry Kane, we're going to be investing in other players, I'm still anti that as well, because we're not going to get another Harry Kane. If we want to get to the next level, if the ambition within the Spurs fan base or the fan is that we do want to go to the next level, we cannot sell Harry Kane. I've said this right from the off. Even when he went on, supposedly, allegedly, that strike at the beginning, I said, totally disagree with how he acts. And Brian knows this. Totally disagree with how he acts, totally against the way he acts. But if we want to be successful, we cannot do that without Harry Kane. Look at stats, look at how, whatever. The fact is the top the top away goal scorer ever in the Premier League is going to become the England's best ever goal scorer. He is potentially going to become the Premier League's top all-time goal scorer. He's going to break records left, right, and centre. How can we justify our team without one of the best strikers in the world? I don't understand it.
I need to keep it short and sweet here, because I'm sorry.
You don't know how, Alex. Stop saying
you, Bob.
You got
what I'm going to
3
say
minutes,
is that
42 seconds left.
this is exactly what you just said. You said we can't sell Harry Kane. I think we have to start looking at it without Harry Kane, because the fact is Arsenal are a good team at the moment. We're not a good team. We're not a good team. We rely too much heavily on Harry Kane at the moment and Son to score those goals. Like I said,
relying on your forwards to score your goals is a bad thing.
He comes deep loads of the times because he needs to create. When I look at that team, and the thing is, I've been watching back, and it's not that I loved, I'm not letting go of Poch, but I looked at the games with Poch, and you saw the whole thing with Harry Kane. He stayed up front. He stayed up front.
You mean the younger Harry Kane?
And he was the main. He was the main force up front. At the moment, we're not doing that. At the moment, we struggle when the team's backs to four, and that's it. And we look back to Harry Kane to make those chances for us. You see what I'm saying? And no one else is taking advantage of that, unfortunately.
If we're poor now, we're going to be poorer without Harry Kane.
That's the point. That's the point, Bob. That's the point.
You take the assists and the goals out of Spurs right now.
Yeah, but Bob, that's the point I'm making. This is the thing I'm saying at the moment.
What Alex is trying to say is we rely too much on Kane, and because of that, we're not a great team. We rely. What he's trying to say.
Then we build around Kane.
Yeah, but that's exactly the point.
Doesn't rely on the best players.
But exactly.
Well, that's the thing, mate.
What's absurd? What I say to Alex, right, is the fact that when you have someone like Kane in your team, you buy players close to the level of him to make the whole team better, like we had in the prime
Danny, no world-class players are coming into Tottenham.
Who said anything about world-class players?
Did I say world-class players are coming into Tottenham, bro?
Did I say world-class players? I said good players around him. I didn't say world-class players. We're not going to fucking get world-class players, are we, Alex? We're not fucking Chelsea. We're not Man City. Yeah.
Do you believe in Conte, Alex?
Players. We can get better players. If Conte goes and gets who he wants, right, you don't think that we're going to have a better squad and a better team if Conte's at the helm and he gets
Harry
who
Kane
he wants.
and
Harry Kane's in that team. Conte loves Harry Kane. He's the diamond in that squad, Harry Kane.
Well, that's the problem.
Gem of the Tottenham.
That's the problem, Danny. That's the problem,
but you buy better players.
Don't have a diamond. Don't have a really good player.
Yeah,
Just
but
get
that's
rid
the
of
problem.
that.
That's the problem, Danny. That's the problem, Danny.
Okay,
That's
Alex,
absurd.
you've got 1 minute, 20 seconds left.
Absurd.
That's the point. That's the problem, Danny. That's literally the problem, Danny. You know what I mean? We are going over to talk about Harry Kane at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah, but it's because he's one of the best in the world.
I'm not all for Conte. What I'm saying is that at the moment I'm not sitting there just loving him so much. You know what I mean? I don't like Prodigy. I told you what I've said about Prodigy. I was just getting 2 rejects and getting Tuso in.
Rejects. You're calling them rejects after the last 5 games. They're
rejects. 2 rejects and getting the Defender of the Year doesn't make you a great great managing director. Like I said before, you know what I mean? And I think people completely forget he got Nuno in and got Gattuso, tried to get Gattuso in as well. You know what I mean? He needs to step up this summer as well. Because I'm telling you this for a fact. People didn't like Steve Hitchin, but he was not to blame for what he was doing at the end of the day. Yes, he made mistakes.
I agree with that. I agree.
He made mistakes, but he did, you know, at the end of the day, it was down to Daniel Levy. And that's the only thing I'm going to say about Daniel Levy. I respect you guys 100%. But as soon as like I said before, Paul Mitchell has got done more than him all day long than Paul Prodigy.
Right.
He's just he's all smoke and mirrors, like I said.
Just one thing, Alex. It's not just us talking about Harry Kane. All of Europe are talking about Harry Kane.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. And Alex,
can you do me a favour, Bob? Bob, can you give Alex some of your messages for tonight, please?
I love Alex. And Alex, on a personal note, thanks for all the messages, buddy.
No, it's any time, mate. Anytime. I'll speak to you privately. I'll speak to you privately.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks for coming on, mate.
We'll speak very soon, brother. And just before you go, Alex, pick up your station, your channel.
Well, I've just uploaded a video just on the Tottenham West Ham match review. Some images of the match just to give my thoughts on it. Hopefully do some things more as well. Just give my thoughts on things as well. And especially just it's international break as well, and that's it really. So yeah, that's it.
What's the name of the channel, Alex?
Alex THFC.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers, Alex.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
And before we bring Mikey on,
sorry, Danny.
Before you bring Mikey on, I'm just going to take my camera off because there's a super chat in there that you need to bring up, and I'm just going to make it visible. So I'm just going to turn my camera off for 1 sec.
Why are you
and find the super chat from Faz.
Hang on, yeah, but wasn't this the same super chat from earlier?
I don't know what
I'm scrolling up and I don't see any super chats
You're
apart from the last
1 sec. 1 sec. There's a super chat from Faz. Go back a bit.
Wait, hang on now. We did this one.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
There we
So,
go.
Not the one on your arse.
There it is.
Oh, that's why you turned the camera off.
There's the We Are Tottenham TV tattoo, and I got the 100K.
With the camera on. The reveal would have been more fun there, Brian.
I got the 100K.
Get some porn music on.
I got the 100K.
The funny thing about it, he didn't have to take his shirt off. He could have just rolled his
sleeve, right? Yeah.
It's going to be
literally.
He gets his tits out.
Yeah, now he just leaves his camera on.
£1.79. He's getting his tits out.
Confusing situation for Brian.
I got the 100,000, and also when we were there getting the 100,000 on, obviously we had our interview with Jake Livermore, who was a fantastic guy, and obviously he sent a message out to Bob Spur as well on our video. So it was incredible, Jake Livermore, to take the time out to speak. He was only going to come for 5 minutes. He spent an hour and a half with us the whole time we were in the tattoo parlor, and wanted to know about Bob's story. Sent a message to Bob. So the tattoo is sorry. I've got to put my glasses back on, man. I'm going blind. But yeah,
we are
Jesus, mate, my eyes are fucking bad.
Brian Titchett.
You know, Cody's clipping that right now, lads.
Oh, for fuck's sake, he's in the building. Okay, let's Live
If only
by the
Manscaped
sword.
exists back
All right,
then.
guys, let's get to Mikey. He's been waiting
Live
a
by
long
the
time,
sword,
guys.
die by the sword. Yeah, but it's time to bring Mikey on.
Mikey, thanks for waiting, buddy. Good to have
Hey,
you.
Mikey.
Hi, guys.
How you doing,
How you
Mikey? Your
doing?
15 minutes is on now, brother.
Is my video loading?
Your video's good, mate. You're fine.
No, it's fine, man.
Yeah, right. So the last guy said he wasn't going to stay for long and proceeded to stay for his entire 15 minutes.
Yeah, of course. He always does that. Alex, it's Alex.
That's Alex.
That's
for you.
Alex, man.
I mean, am I allowed to swear on here?
Yes, fucking swear, mate. Go for it.
no
Just don't say the
C-word.
C word.
It's not their channel. You can say whatever you fucking want.
No, you can swear away, just not the C word.
Okay, I won't say the C word then. Too bad, because that's what I think Daniel Levy is. Anyway, look.
Nice. Well done, Mikey.
I think this first of all, this concept is really good considering the I mean, it's midday for Brian in Toronto, so
It's 7 o'clock.
oh, it's still light outside.
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Sun's going down right now for us in Toronto. So.
Sun's going real low. Anyway, look, today it dawned on me that yesterday I tried to get on, but my Wi-Fi went down for about half an hour, and I came on and you guys had stopped streaming. So
Sorry, buddy.
I couldn't. So I'm here today, but so Tottenham is an enigma wrapped in a Rubik's cube, stuffed at the bottom of the sea inside of Atlantis. I can't, for the life of me, understand how this club works. Like I've been a Tottenham supporter myself for about 10 years, but I've been an avid supporter for about 7, and I sort of dawned right around the time I got a Harry Kane shirt for Christmas 2015, and that's when I started following closely through the middle of the 15-16 season when we finished. Let's not talk about that. And I think it was then that I started really getting into football, and I've watched Tottenham rise and fall, and I'm now starting to realize that the one thing consistent about Tottenham will always be their inconsistency, and that it frustrates me. It's funny at times, but it's very frustrating because as a fan, you want a club that you can go to get. I mean, I haven't been to very many games. I'm not affluent. I can't afford a season ticket or to go to every game, and I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I've only been to about 4 or 5 games in my life, and 3 of them have been losses. It was the first loss at the new stadium. Was my first game at the new stadium was when Antonio scored and we lost 1-0. I watched us narrowly beat Morecambe, and then I don't know. There's so much inconsistency, and I really wish this team would stop putting me through panic attacks every time we go 2-0 up. Because I've seen us lose too many advantages from winning positions to have any faith unless we batter someone 5-0.
Yeah, welcome to being a Spurs fan, Mikey. This is basically again the young fans always know, like they can put it into a small little bucket of what it's like being a Spurs fan. It's been like that for years, mate. I don't see it changing anytime soon. So find a way to like it is basically what we have to say.
7 years of this shit. No, unreal. I don't.
7. He's a child.
I don't. 7. I've been doing this for 30. No, Yeah. My dad's been a Spurs supporter for over 45 years, and
so he knows.
Is he bald?
Is he? No, but he's balding.
Oh, that's good.
And he's the one who introduced me to it. So I live in West London, very close to the Chelsea ground. And
you said the C word, mate. You were not supposed to say that.
Yeah, we said no C word.
Sorry. I live very close.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, I live very close to the blue side of London, and I've grown up surrounded by those fans, and my cousins, they're all fans. And I think that I was always like, I never really cared about football. I was like, oh, I'm a Chelsea fan. And then I got a Bale top for 2012. I got a Bale 11 top from my dad, who was like, Merry Christmas, son. And then I was like, okay, I'm a Tottenham fan now. And then in 2015, I get a Kane shirt. And it's like, well, I mean, I've lost that shirt because I left it on the bus one time, but it was still the pride and joy of my shirt collection. And since then, it's sort of led me down so many paths. I've got a wonderful girlfriend who I love to bits, who absolutely adores the football same amount as I do. And I wouldn't have got into that. And I thank my dad for a lot of that. And I thank this club as well, because it helped me discover like a new passion of mine, because up until then, I was 12 in 2015. And I didn't have, like, I was a very sort of this is gonna sound like a personal story, and I know this is about football.
It's your 15 minutes, mate. Do whatever you want.
I'll get onto the football in a second, but I'll get onto the current issues in a second at least. And it kind of helped me grow more confident talking to my friends and stuff, and I could talk about football. And I got into FIFA, the video game, and I play that still to this day. And there's been a lot, and so football kind of helped me in the sense that it was always a comfort that I could go to if I was having a rough day, rough week, rough month, rough year, rough life. I could always just retreat back into a club that I knew was on the up. You know, a club that Tottenham from 2016 to 2019, the rise was insane, going from, you know, Europa League outsiders in Poch's first season to Champions League regulars, finalists, but always lacking that cutting edge. And now that we're starting to sink into it, I realize just how dependent some fans are, because some people are in the shits and they look at their football club as the pinnacle of their week, you know, the place where they can go to sort of help them. And the inconsistency of Tottenham, not only does it cause millions of people's blood pressures to go up and down every week, it also the consistency not only helps the team, it helps the people that support the club. It helps give them a club that they know they can believe in, a club that they know they can support, with the ideal that it's on the up. And coming back to the points now about a club on the up, that's my little segue into talking about a club on the up, because it says a lot about our most consistent run of form over the past 2 months has been 2 wins. It's been win, loss, draw, win, loss. And we battered West Ham, cheer up. And I think the consistency for us is going to be key, because if we can have a good and run into the end of the season, we've got 1, maybe 2 hard games left. You know, at Liverpool at Anfield is the big one, and obviously we've got the derby to play, which I am worried about. I'm not going to lie, I am worried about the derby, because Arsenal have been on an imperious run of form recently.
You wouldn't be Spurs if you weren't worried about the derby.
Exactly.
Narrowly losing to Man City, so they should have really won all of the games that they've played, except the Liverpool game when they deserve to lose. But I am worried, because if Arsenal can, they've got to face Chelsea, Man United, and West Ham in the space of 10 days at the end of April, and that will make or break their top 4 challenge. And we need to keep in the run. We need to keep in the run there. But for a club on the up, to talk about getting rid of, I would say the second best striker in the world, because I can't look past Lewandowski, the numbers he puts up in.
Yeah, he plays in Germany though. Come on, mate.
Yeah, but he plays in the Champions League. He's the top scorer in the Champions League as well. I know he's played again, but I can't look past him.
Counterpoint, Brian.
I'm sorry. It's just he's always if put Kane in that team and he's gonna score more goals.
Yeah, I know, but I look at my numbers. I look at the numbers and I look at how they play, and I look at Lewandowski.
I mean, it's an argument that I'm willing to give him.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. So
yeah, Kane's better. They're the 2 best strikers in the world.
Yeah,
we can all agree on that.
Yep.
Kane and Lewandowski, 2 best strikers in the world.
100%.
And I think Kane is better. All right, I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. But I think a lot of our success rides on the fact that, you know, you look at Harry Kane, he's not the young budding talent he was 5 years ago. I mean, a club on the up, you need secure foundation. Like, it took Man City 4 years to win their first Premier League title. I know it took Chelsea a couple of years. I'm not talking about us in that it's sort of a cash injection, but I'm just looking at, if we want to consider ourselves a club progressing forward, I don't necessarily agree that top 4. If you can get top 4, go for it. Absolutely, strive for it. But I don't think top 4 is the end of the world for us. I think if we come 5th behind Arsenal, yeah, it's a bitter pill to swallow. And for every season that I've been watching football since 2015-16, we haven't finished below them. So I
think the issue, Mikey, just quickly to interrupt, is the money that you get from Champions League and keeping the players and the manager in place. If you get Champions League, there's the potential to lose content, the potential to lose Kane and some of the other bigger players if we don't get it for another season. That would be problematic. So I think that's where the need for top 4 comes into play.
Yeah, I agree with that. But what the point I'm making is that for any other club in the world in a situation like ours, if let's not beat around the bush here. 150 million in the bank. Yes, you wouldn't sell Harry Kane for that. You wouldn't sell Harry Kane for anything. But if you look objectively, 150 million in the bank, it would not be a bad. Yes, he is. It would not. I mean, look, I'm not gonna be 150 million in the bank. No one would say no to. I mean, obviously, you take away Harry Kane, that team is gonna shatter. But what I'm worried about is the fact that even after if we lose Conte, if we sell Harry Kane, there's one man it's gonna be down to use that money, and that's Daniel Levy.
Terrifying.
A club. I don't care if you have all of the vibes in the world, beating West Ham, get into a Champions League final in the way that we did. You cannot be a club on the up if your CEO is running you like a business. Because I know football clubs are a business, but football clubs are a different kettle of fish to running like a law firm. And Daniel Levy is not a football businessman. He's a not normal. He's a businessman. He's a
CEO. Yeah, he's
a CEO. He's not a technical director. He's not a director of football. He's not an owner. Joe Lewis is the owner. Daniel Levy's sort of just the middleman. Paratici it was Hitchin, but now it's Paratici handles footballing related stuff, and Daniel Levy just sort of sits there and authorizes stuff. Like, I don't care if you say this, that, and the other about losing Kane, keeping Kane. It all becomes irrelevant when you have a person like Daniel Levy as a chairman, as a club director, whatever his bloody fucking title is, whatever he's worth to us. I would sell Daniel Levy for 150 million. Keep Kane and sell him. Play him up front. See how well he headed.
Mikey, I'd sell him for £1.
See how well he headed a ball with that fucking globe of a head. But
we've got a few baldies here, or no, it's only a couple of us now.
I've never been the most ardent Daniel Levy fan. I've been sort of against him ever since we went 2-3 transfer windows without buying anyone. That shows his unwillingness to commit funds to it, because you have to be like, look, I'm not saying Sheikh Mansour, Newcastle, and Chelsea's way to the top is necessarily ethical or right, because I love clubs that rise without needing a cash injection. I love clubs like Brentford. I feel like they do things the right way, or a club like Dortmund, Ajax, etc. But you've got to hand it to them. They've got chair people who care. They've got people who want, whether it's to benefit their own appeal back in their country, who cares? At this point, they have chairman, like even Abramovich. I know he's been in controversy lately, but take like the geopolitical situation aside, he's shown that he's willing to put enough money and resources into a team to actually care about pushing them up. They won their first league title within 2 years of a cash injection. The only reason they didn't win it in the first year was an imperious Arsenal side who went invincible, etc. So you've got to look at it and say Daniel Levy's been the longest running chairman in the Premier League, and he has one trophy. Yeah. Abramovich matched that in 1 year. Mansour matched that in 5 years. Newcastle, I'm not saying. I mean, Newcastle are in. I'm not saying they're going to become.
They could win a trophy before we do.
They could.
Well, the thing is, with what Mikey's saying as well. Just want to say, Mikey, what you're saying as well. The thing is, as well, I really don't want Everton to go down, because if Everton go down, we are the only ever present in the Premier League not to have won it. It's us and Everton that are the only ever present that haven't got our hands on the trophy. So I'm praying. So let's hope that doesn't happen. You got 1 minute 20, Mikey.
Look, I've pretty much made. I think the problem is you can't have a club on the up. You can't have a club that's looking to go places with a person who's looking to suck every penny out of it and run it as a business for profit instead of running it as a fucking football club. He sucked the life out of it many moons ago. He's got more mouth skills than a porn star. But the thing is, he's got more sucking skills than a porn star. But the thing is,
brilliant.
He's a leech. He's a leech.
Oh, I love that. That's wicked.
He's a man who looks for every. He's a man who furthers his own. He's a man who looks for anything to further his own.
His pockets. He just wants to.
His own ambition. His own ambition is gone. He doesn't have any ambition. It's long gone. And when you have an owner that has, all right, Chelsea's trophies are tarnished. I won't deny that. The money that it's come from is definitely tarnished. But you have to look at the passion Abramovich has for that club. He He invested that money. And look,
I don't think they're tarnished.
I think that you can't be a club on the up. You can't. Levy will not give Conte a war chest this summer. All this talk of 100, 200 million being spent is bullshit.
Yeah,
He's going to be given 50 million to spend, and we're going to get. I'm not saying Bentancur and Kulishevsky have been bad by far. Far from it. I think they've been imperious, but you're going to look. I know my time's up, but just quickly, I'll finish the point I'm making. He's going to look. He's going to look to Serie A. He's going to look to Juve and
loan deals, free transfers, and all that kind of stuff. That's what they'll go for.
If it's what Conte wants, then who cares?
Yeah, I don't care.
Conte will not get what he wants because it's all about what Levy wants. It's never about what the manager wants. Poch wanted this. Poch said it when he said a complete rebuild is needed.
This is his one chance to get it right, so we'll see what happens.
He won't get it right.
I agree with you, Mikey. I agree with you.
I have a sad feeling that we will see the best of Harry Kane yet to come, and he will still not have a trophy. Maybe a World Cup with England. He has more chance of winning a trophy with England than with Spurs. That's how diabolical the situation is.
Mikey, that's a good spot to end it, brother. Unfortunately, on a negative point, but thanks for being here, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Mikey, see you later, brother. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later. So just before we bring on the last guest, I just want to say a big hello to Adrian. I can never say his surname right. Schrocker.
Where is he?
He brought some of his chats up recently. People will know that I had my meltdown on the Irish Hotspurs channel, and I lost my temper at the end of the transfer window, and I went batshit crazy. And unfortunately, Adrian caught the brunt of it. And obviously, I've known him for a while through his Facebook group, and I immediately apologised to him, and we had a private chat for about half an hour. But it's great to see him in the comments and in the chats. He's a great guy. He's got his own good Facebook group. Adrian, put the name of your Facebook group in the chat so people can join it. It is a great group. So I just wanted to say that. And then we've got the final guest, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for staying with us for this mammoth 3.5 hour, and especially Donovan for wasting this amount of time.
It's been a long
go. We're up 224 likes, and like we said again, I keep saying it. If you've enjoyed this, obviously you've got Bob Spur TV, the biggest show on YouTube, coming back tomorrow. So subscribe to that show, and if you just hit the hyperlink on the description, it will take you to me, Adam, Danny, and Brian's channel, Tottenham on Tour. Just hit the subscribe if you can. No obligation, obviously. But yeah, Donovan, thank you for waiting, buddy. And your 15 minutes.
No worries, guys.
You're a trooper, Donovan. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I missed yesterday's show. Like with Mikey, my Wi-Fi is to be desired here, so it's good to get on and see everyone. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Good, man.
Guy, there's no Tottenham this weekend.
Yeah.
Nobody's. Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was gutted last night because I'm Canadian, as Brian knows, and we were held to a clean sheet against Costa Rica, diving theatrics, and our World Cup qualifying is put off the game. So, I mean, at least we can do it at home. So I'm really excited. On Sunday, to go to a bar and
Donovan,
against Jamaica.
Where are you in Canada?
We're in Kelowna, so it's in BC.
West Coast.
There.
Okay, you're on the other side of the country.
Yeah, West Coast.
For those Brits, that's like 20 countries away from what you're used to, distance-wise.
Yeah, right. 4 boards, 4 check stops. Yeah, no, it'll be good. The crowd will be bumped. It'll be red, and it'll be the first time Canada's been to a World Cup in my lifetime. So I'm so excited.
Congrats.
We used to. Yes. Cheers. Yeah, it's we always get bantered for our hockey, like hockey and stuff. Like, to go undefeated in our group. Yeah, right. So, but back on the Tottenham train. No, it was good. Good result against West Ham, and top 4 hopes are back alight. The candle's lit again, and all we can do, what Conte said, is keep put pressure on Arsenal. Right. That's all we can do. Just put pressure.
Yeah, fact.
They have a championship center back and a championship goalkeeper, and I'm hoping that'll play dividend near the end of the season. When that pressure does come.
Yeah, 100%.
So where do you see the season going, Donovan? Do you see top 4 being a possibility, or where are you in the race for top 4?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I'm gonna be a glass half full and back the boys. I think we took Champions League for granted. As a fan, I remember some of the games where you just turn off the TV halfway because like the Bayern Munich game comes to mind, and was just almost a given. Spurs are going to get the Champions League. But after 3 years of not being in it, wow, it's something, and we have a beautiful stadium. And remember that Man City game to dare us to do, and watching the Man City boys come out absolutely shell shocked, staring around, like this is a beautiful palace. That place deserves European football, and we have the manager to do it with Antonio. So, like I remember you guys mentioned earlier in the stream that you don't need like 300, 400 million. Go give him an Ashley Young, go give him a DJ Spence, give him the tools he needs to build what he wants to build. I mean, anyone that's still not on the trend, I just have to say, like, take a look at yourselves. I don't understand. It's glad that I'm not the most deluded one on here, right? So,
I think we just.
Sorry, Bob, you go first, then I'll go.
No, I just think we need to be a bit more brave and a bit more open. I think when you speak to Spurs fans, the majority of Spurs fans are not sure if we're going to get fourth. And I understand that. We're Spurs fans. We're used to being let down. But fuck that. I'll keep on saying, I'll be absolutely fucking gutted if we don't get top 4 now. Arsenal got 2 defeats in them. That's not including ours. We'll beat them as well. They've not beaten a top 6 side, top 5 side. They've got Man United, Liverpool. Have they got to play Chelsea as well?
Chelsea as well, yeah.
Yep, Chelsea.
They've got 2 defeats, possibly 3 defeats in them.
Yep.
And we can go on a run, Brian. We can go on a run.
100%.
It's 2 wins in a row, 5 wins out of 7. However you want to look at it. I think Spurs fans need to come out and say, yeah, we should be going for top 4. And we will be gutted. If we want ambition, if we want to go to that next level, we should be expecting top 4. We should be absolutely gutted if we don't get top 4, because that shows where we need to be. And next season, we need to kick on. We might not get 4th. That's football. But we should be expecting to get 4th. With this manager, with world-class players like Kane, Sonny, Romero, and the team playing well and beating teams well, we should be expecting to finish top 4. And we should be gutted, absolutely gutted, if we don't get top 4.
Well said, Brian. Well said, Bob.
I have to say, Bob, as I said, I don't call 2 games a run. I believe we can go on a run. So I'm not saying that we can't go on a run. But I have to say, it's breaking news here within the comments. It's very rare that you get a current player coming out and saying Nick out. So I just want to say thank you to Cameron Carter Vickers for coming in and for coming in.
CCV making good,
and making his presence felt.
Yeah, finally showing some value.
Exactly. But no, I think we can go on a run. I think we can. I just don't call 2 games a run.
Yeah,
and I'm one.
Quality is definitely there. Oh, sorry, Brian. Yeah, the quality is definitely there. Like, the quality is definitely there. And like you said, Bob. By the way, great to see you. We don't have that personal connection, but your story is inspirational. You've been so
cheers,
big up to Bob Square. But it's we've obviously proven already, and like we haven't even been playing that well when we did go on that run of 9 games where we were just nicking results at 94th minute winner at Watford and what have you. Only thing I can add to that, or I guess play devil's advocate, is that just take a look at what the squad looks like when we come back from international break. I'm shaking my head how QT was going, but I mean,
stay fit.
Yeah, hey,
yeah.
Like I guess he's
it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, he's an Argentinian from his national team, I guess, right? So you have a lot of passion, and as we've seen on the pitch, and we keep going. And top 4 is definitely on. Arsenal's not a perfect squad by any means. It's not necessarily a fear of Arsenal or a fear of the competition. It's more of our lack of consistency that we've shown over. Right? That's the only thing that's. I mean, 4 goals against Leeds, 5 against Everton. It's in us, right? So, but it's the troops and get us over the line, in my opinion. Like you said,
we're scoring a lot of goals these days, right? Like that's been a massive positive. Considering where we started at the beginning of the season, we're barely getting any chances, and now we're actually scoring a lot of goals and winning games against teams the way we should. Which is nice to see.
There was a point of the season.
So, sorry, what?
No, sorry, no. You go minutes. You're 15 minutes. Like right to say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Adam. Shut up.
Adam,
Shut up, Adam.
Yeah, shut up, Adam.
Go ahead, Donovan.
No, I guess I just wanted to play rating advocate. I haven't heard enough about Matty Cash. I don't know if I'm the only one who rates him, but I think
I rate him highly.
Yeah, I like Matty Cash.
Good player.
Funny enough, I actually think we were linked with him.
He really exploded. I don't know.
Really?
We're linked with everybody, though, Brad. Come on.
Yeah, no, this is true. This is true. We are always linked with everyone, but I believe he was. I don't think he went past the rumor mill, or maybe an inquiry. So he weren't like staunch. We've put in a bid, but I believe we were circling around him.
Sounds
might have been one of those Grealish scenarios where he wanted 18 and we only offered 14 or something dumb like that. I can't get over Levy and how he. So what's the deal with the ticket holders? I just logged on because I had to do some college on my laptop, and I just got the tail. What happened with the ticket holders?
I would suggest go back and watching some of the beginning. Brian tells the story of how it all happened. I mean, there's a lot there. So
it's just greed.
Greed essentially. He basically turned down the trust. So.
In a nutshell, Donovan, all he's done is season ticket renewals are normally the deadline is 2nd, 3rd week of June for season ticket prices to be paid up for next season. And out of the blue, a couple of months ago or a month ago, he decided that we're not going to do that now. We're going to pay at the end of April before the season finishes. The Supporters Trust said, "What the hell do you think you're doing? That's really unfair. You've done this without warning." And they sent a message to the board saying, "Listen, that's not fair. Can we get an extension?" And Levy and the board have come back today and said, "No."
Yeah, I can see both sides. I can see him. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I can see the fans and being like the straw that breaks the camel's back. You know, like everything he's done, all the fiascos, decisions, and everything. But I could also actually see just devil's advocate here of hey, we need to get some players in. Let's get some extra funds. But I mean, you have concerts for that, right? You have stadium for that.
Exactly.
You have the 20,000 extra seats for that. And the buying here, man. What's up?
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. I was going to ask you after, actually, if you want to finish. I was going to ask you about the season tickets, right? Do you think he's done what he's done? Like, this is just as a question, right? Do you think he's done this now because he might know something that we don't know that could be happening, and there's a reason why he wants it paid up now? Because in the summer, there's some changes that are going to happen that we might not like.
Only thing I can say to that would be there's a financial fair play sanction, right? That's going to really hurt top teams that have been running their books right. Like Chelsea, I think they're 102% over or something, and Arsenal are like 80% wage book. I think we're sitting at a 56%. So I mean that's good for us, but other than that, I mean I don't want to look at the glass half empty, you know, like other than what's actually written in stone. But
exactly, yeah.
No, it was good. It was good seeing you. It was good seeing you guys at the stadium there in that video there. It looked you guys I had a good time, and everyone got to meet up there, and it looked fun. And we were watching, and I was like, yeah, he's the realist. You know, he's the one who keeps everyone in earth, right? He's the one who tells it as it is. So
Danny and Brian.
I'll tell you what, Donovan, if you're ever in Toronto during the season, just reach out to me and we'll meet up and we'll take you to the yard.
Yeah, we'll see. I've yet to be to BMO Field. I've been to BC Place, and I'm actually going to a player combine at the Victoria team, Pacific FC. They're having a combine, so I got to go have fun and showcase my ability there, and we're gonna go take in a match. So I haven't been past Saskatchewan. Yeah, I'm a goalkeeper. I do what I can, right?
Maybe you could be Lloris's replacement. Maybe we need to get the scout down.
Lloris is there.
Let's
Come on,
scout
make
him.
it happen.
Let's get somebody.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'd do a bit better than Galini. At least I'll dive at the ball. I wouldn't just stand there and watch it go by my shoulder.
Sky
Oh
shoulder,
my goodness.
40-yard shot going in.
Yeah. No, but I'm looking forward to the transfer window. I'm looking forward, and for the first time, as Bob said earlier, like I'm really excited to push on and actually show the world what we can do. Because like it's the media, it's the scripts always written against Tottenham. Like he won by 5, why didn't you beat him by 6? You know, come on, man. Like, they can't give half an end of a stick, right? So it's time to really show. And I think Antonio Conte knows that too. Like he seems like the kind of guy who doesn't mind a challenge. He doesn't back away from anything, right? And he's realizing, like as you guys had mentioned in previous streams, how much the world does like hate Tottenham, like as a club, you know?
Yeah.
They always got something to say about them, right? And so for him to take it as his club, to sit in his throne and actually just applaud the stadium every 60 minutes because we're just chanting his name because he knows we're bringing us to the glory, you know? Like it's good days to be a Tottenham fan.
Well said, Donovan. Well said.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Definitely has the potential, all right, to be the best since Poch.
Good stuff.
Oh, without doubt.
He's got potential to be better than Poch as long as he's backed in the way that we need him.
He
to be
is
backed.
better than Poch. Let's be honest about it.
No, but what we're saying is what he would do at Tottenham.
I
Yeah,
know.
what he would do at Tottenham.
I get you.
Yeah. Well, question for you guys. Well, the last couple of minutes I got here.
Okay.
We get to the Champions League next year, right? What do you prioritize? Do you finish off the Champions League, or do you go for the league?
The league.
I'd answer that quickly. You don't prioritize. You go for both because you're a top club and you should be able to do it with the right squad. So
yeah,
you
but we
invest in
won't
the
have
squad
it
properly, and you go for both. That's what you should be doing. Now, whether or not we're in that position is a different story. But that's
all Mr. Levy, right? That's all Mr. Levy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what his weird bald head's going to pull off this summer. You know, actually, I'm not going to be a Levy advocate here because I'm accused of being one of his men or whatever. But I could see him. I could see him just spending his money. You know how he does, the camera pans to him, how he's sitting there all proud over his team, looking over at his business, right? And I could see him building this, doing it right. Because if you look at it financially, we're one of the best run clubs in the world. His decision making is shit. Okay, it's bonkers. It's absolutely mental. But if you step back and you let Paratici do your work, and you let Conte do your work, and you just sign your checks, man, you could actually, funnily enough, fucked up so much in the past that now it actually pay off for you. You know, if you do this right, this is your saving grace. This is your saving. Conte's your saving.
Yeah,
your saving grace.
He has an opportunity,
and they're going to renew their tickets.
Yeah, he has an opportunity, doesn't he? I think that's the thing for Levy. If he got his shit together and just let Conte and Paratici do their job, he would end up in good stead instead of being hated by half the fan base or more.
Yeah. But as Danny was alluding to, like, you don't know if he's going to sell the club, right? You don't know what's going to happen.
I think we've got a long wait for that to happen.
Right?
Well, do you know what I was alluding to, Donovan? Is more the fact that Conte might actually walk out. That's what I'm alluding to, because because Conte said, right, he said his ambition. He said that he wants to win titles, right? That's what his ambition is. Harry Kane has said it in a press conference a few weeks ago, saying that he obviously wants Conte to speak to the club to see where the club want to go and what their ambitions are. Because if they don't align with what Conte and Harry Kane's ambitions are, Conte will walk out the club. It's as simple as that. And if he walks out the club, then obviously we might go through that merry-go-round of who's going to be the manager again and all this kind of stuff. And does Paratici end up staying if Conte is gone? Because essentially his role is kind of null and void, really, if Conte walks out. But that's why I was kind of asking that question, because there's that possibility that he could still go. We don't know yet. That's the thing.
Well, I think honestly it'll be as determined as early as Newcastle. You know, like how quickly we come back and how quickly we can pick it up. Like if we can show off, like, hey, like, beat Newcastle, keep this run going. Then I don't see Conte sticking around. I see him staying for his 18 months, and then like I said, this transfer window will be. Yeah, this transfer window will be the most telling transfer window in recent time.
In our history, recent history,
right.
for sure.
Donovan, time's up. Do me a favour. When we stay in the back end, because I want to talk to you, because we're just going to wrap up the show, but don't leave the stream, okay? Don't leave StreamYard. Just stay in the back end, okay?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Donovan. No, pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on. Yeah,
Great.
stay with us, and Brian wants to have a chat.
Thanks for your patience.
Can I just reply to JRD? He's sent a message saying Ski Hal Badi. Just want to say Sab Kuch Tiga, Salin Duawanal, Sab Kuch Tiga.
There we go.
And there you go.
That's a great spot to end it. What a show, guys! Nearly 4 hours. Fantastic stuff.
Longest stream I've ever been on, I think.
Amazing stuff,
like,
and of
it was
course,
good,
the four of us here, and then being blessed with Bob Spur at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's an honor and a pleasure, and being on WeAreTottenham TV doing this. I mean, who'd have thunk this a year ago? A little bit bonkers, but absolute pleasure. So, thank you for everybody. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for everything everybody's done to help us put this show together.
Hope to see everyone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bob,
Bob, I was just gonna let you do that rather than me say it. So let everybody know who's still with us at what's happening tomorrow on your channel, Bob.
Yeah, 4 months away. Coming back with my In the Wall show, 10:30 p.m. GMT. we'll be speaking Spurs. But as always on my show, it's a free for all, and we'll take it wherever the show goes. Can't wait. Bit of normality. Next stage of normality. And I've said this before. It's not about the show, the content, whatever. It is purely the fact that I'm in a position to actually make some content.
Bob Spur getting back to doing Bob Spur things.
Yeah.
And
Finally.
we're really looking forward to getting back to doing it with you, buddy. It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to have you here and to see you looking good and looking better. So fantastic stuff.
You kicked COVID's ass, man.
Adam, Brian, Danny, anything last to say before we sign off?
But Danny, go on, you go. Then I'm just to wrap up with what we're going to have planned.
All right, I was going to say for everyone who hasn't done already, please subscribe to Bob Spur TV, please, because honestly,
smash that.
The in the wall shows that Bob is so famous for, they are phenomenal. They are such good fun. It's hilarious. Honestly, when he says they go, it's completely like unwritten. It is just, I mean,
it's a free.
They go. Yeah, it's a free fall. It goes completely off the wall. Really, if I'm honest, it actually goes completely off the wall. I think maybe that's the better name, actually, Bob. But it's an amazing show. So please, everyone, check it out tomorrow because there's going to be lots of guests on, and it's going to be great fun. And if anyone hasn't already, please subscribe to We Are Tottenham TV because they are unbelievable.
Absolutely,
and they give us this opportunity to do what we're doing now, which is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
So.
Smash that like on Tottenham on tour as well.
Get that like on tour. But just to piggyback onto what Danny just said, people in this community know what Bob Spur means to everyone, not just on this panel, not in the chat, but in the community. And when I say there are people at home tomorrow that aren't doing anything at 10:30 in England because they want to watch this show, because they want to be a part of it. People around the world, people in Australia, me in Ireland, and Cody in Canada, Will Stewart, and people in America, people all over Ireland. There are people, whatever time it's 10:30 UK time. There's going to be so many people that I know. People that have said they're spending tonight with their wives because they've said tomorrow I'm in front of a screen at 10:30. So this is what this man has done and been missing with the show. It's been an honor having him on the stream. And for just let guys know for the channel for We Are Tottenham TV tomorrow and Sunday will be a load of pre-recorded content, little snippets, 20-30 minute videos that will get released through the day. Hopefully there'll be some tomorrow, but there will be
mostly Sunday. Tomorrow we've got to record them. We might put something out tomorrow night if
exactly. Just getting it over to Ben and Simeon or the three guys at the back, Jake, Vinny, and Sam. And Sam's been helping us out. He's the one at home at the moment. So thank you, Sam.
Thanks, everybody, for your help.
There will be some stuff, hopefully tomorrow, but not guaranteed. But there will be a lot of stuff on Sunday. So let's just, I'm going to finish this in Ben style. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always,
come on,
you Spurs.